play each night and giving ourselves the best chance to win each night is what we're trying to do.
In an 82-game season, every game's important. I get that. And you guys have built up a 13-3-4 record thus far through this point of the season. But some games take on added significance. And that would include tonight against the Winnipeg Jets. How important is it to show that, okay, they're number one in the Central Division, but you guys are right there with them, and it's time to plant your flag?
Yeah, it's we're focused on what we can do to give ourselves the best chance to win. We've been playing good hockey, and so again, we're trying to play fast. We're trying to be sound defensively, and that's what we're focused on going into tonight and controlling what we can control. So it's obviously it's a new time around playing them. Obviously, they got the best of us in the first game. So again, just doing what we can to give ourselves the best shot to come out with 2 points tonight is what we're going to do.
Welcome back to St. Paul. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Brock Faber, 7th in the National Hockey League for time on ice, averaging almost 25 minutes a night. Tonight will be game number 105 of his young NHL career. As mentioned, Kirill Kaprizov returns to the lineup tonight after missing his first game of the season on Saturday. He'll skate with Eriksson Ek and Boldy on the top line. He enters tonight second in the NHL with 34 points in 19 games. Hustendinov is out. He'll miss his second straight contest. Kaprizov and the Wild are up against a Jets team that has suddenly lost 3 of their last 5 after starting the season 15-1-0, but already they lead the Wild 1-rip in the season series. They beat the Wild in overtime in Winnipeg in game number 3 of the season, plus they've beaten the Wild in 6 straight dating back to April of 2023. Those are your news and notes. Tom Reed is next. This is Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.
To truly go inside the game of pro football, you need to see things from the player's perspective.
Let's go.
Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, catch the Player's Point. Join NFL tight end Colin Thompson and Packers running back A.J. Dillon as they break down the biggest stories in the NFL.
Hand off A.J. Dillon, powering his way. Touchdown.
The Player's Point. Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 and the SiriusXM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM.
Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL Final.
That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City.
Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL Final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern.
And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
It's 25% the way through. There's a lot of hockey left. Teams that are low in the standings are going to make pushes. Teams that are high in the standings are going to drop, and we want to make sure that we continue our success, and that's playing with all 5 guys as a unit and playing together.
Ryan Hartman on keeping this train rolling through the Thanksgiving holiday. What a challenge tonight in St. Paul with the Jets in town. Tom Reed's with me in the Al Shaver press box. Disappointing to lose to the Flames on Saturday, Tom, in Calgary, but big picture, they got a point despite the fact they didn't have one of the NHL's leading scorers on the roster, in Kirill Kaprizov.
Yeah, you're right, Kevin. I thought they played really well. That third period, they really put a big push on there, and they got a point out of it. It would have been nice to get 2, but obviously they lost it in the shootout. But at the same time, when you pick up points in all 3 of the games on the road, you go 3-2-1 in that stretch. 2-1 in that stretch. Yep. It's one of those situations that I thought Minnesota really pulled it together. And when you lose your star players, key players on your roster, somebody else has to pick up a little bit better. But you do it by committee, not just one guy doing it, but they do it by committee. And I thought they did a terrific job of picking up the points.
They did get it done on Saturday despite no Kirill Kaprizov, but a little bit of a sigh of relief for most fans watching this team and paying attention to him. Number 97's back tonight. That's a huge boost going up against the number 1 team in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, it's a huge boost certainly for the fans, but certainly for the guys on the ice too. His teammates said they want him on the ice. He's much more valuable there than any other place. So hopefully hopefully he'll be in. Looked like he was in good shape this morning. We saw the practice this morning. The guys were skating. He seemed to be back at 100%.
So the Wild are taking on a Jets team that started out like gangbusters, cooled off a little bit here lately. What are you hearing about the Jets as they come to St. Paul for meeting number 2 of the season?
Well, they're geared up. No question about it. They want to win this hockey game. You know, Minnesota loves to play against the Winnipeg Jets, and they're tough to beat. Minnesota's, when you look at the record over the 57 games they played, Minnesota's record is 29, 22, and 6 in that stretch. At the same time, you want to make sure that guys are ready when they step on the ice. And to win it at home is a big plus for this team.
I said to Brock Faber, the first 20 games of the season have been unbelievable. You look at some of the bright spots, but all of that pales into comparison what it would mean to beat one of these top teams in the Central, including the Winnipeg Jets, who they haven't beaten in 6 straight tries.
You know, there's so much parity in the National Hockey right now. It doesn't matter which team you play. You don't know what's going to happen. Look at the teams Minnesota lost to. They lost to Philadelphia. They lost to, the Chicago Blackhawks. Teams they should win against, but they didn't. And so all of a sudden now, the parity is right there. But now you're playing against a team, the top 2 teams in the National Hockey League being Winnipeg and Minnesota right behind them. So this should be a fun contest.
I know there's no love lost for a number of teams that I could name off the top of my head. Colorado, Dallas, for example. But in my mind, this is the Wild's chief rival. What do you think?
I would agree with you. I think it is too. It's not Chicago
border
anymore.
Battle.
Yeah, it's the border battle, as you call it, and of course, it's the proximity of the 2 teams being close to each other. But when you look at these 2 teams, they don't like each other. We've seen that in the past, and hopefully that'll be the way the game is going tonight.
We'll see. Hopefully there's some intensity and some bite to the Wild and Jets from St. Paul. We'll take a break, and then we'll get you the starting goaltenders. And a reminder, Kirill Kaprizov is back after missing Saturday in Calgary. Number 97 is back in the lineup. We'll talk about that and more when we continue. This is Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.
The biggest plays.
What a save!
Hits.
Oh, hard hit.
Goals.
McDavid scores!
Tune to NHL Network Radio for the most in-depth hockey talk on the planet.
He is the GM of the Minnesota Wild.
Insiders.
The revenues and the big business.
And the best analysis on the air. The NHL on Sirius XM. Hear every team and your hometown call. NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on demand with the Sirius XM app. 24/7 hockey talk.
To understand that you are allowed to legally still check the head, not just the head. The head by itself is a penalty. If you wanted to change it, that would be like in the IIHF. That's probably a penalty at the Olympics. That's probably at the World Juniors. That guy's gone and suspended. I ask you, do you want that?
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
Kaprizov spins, drops it for Rossi, moves in, shoot! Stopped by Hellebuck. Great blocker save.
Our biggest thing tonight is get a lot of traffic in Hallebuck, get a lot of shots through, make sure he's not seeing anything. I think we all know that he's world-class goaltender right now, and that's the biggest part of their success is Hallebuck. So we just got to be smart, get some good screens, and then get a lot of more second chances after some shots.
Marcus Foligno on the reigning Vezina Award winner. The Wild will try and put a dent in Connor Hellebuck's numbers tonight. Tom Reed delivers the starting goaltenders presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. We know it's going to be a tough night at the office anytime you got to go up against the Jets, Tom, and it doesn't get any easier when they put Connor Hellebuck as their starting netminder.
Yeah, you're right, Kevin. The thing is, when you look at these 2 goaltenders, I look at Philip Gustafson of Minnesota, and I look at Connor Hellebuck of the Winnipeg Jets. Both have identical goals against average of 2.13. They have identical save percentage of 9.24. The difference is that Gus has played 15 games, 16 by Hellebuck. So this should be an interesting matchup between these 2 goalies.
Hellebuck versus Philip Gustafson. Those are your starting goaltenders tonight. The lineup report. Let's start with the Winnipeg Jets. There's a kid with some local ties that's going to miss for them. Sounds like an unfortunate situation for Dylan Sandberg.
Yeah, apparently he blocked a shot the other night, and that's going to take him out of it. The young shot of Hermantown who had a pretty good year last year also with 18 points. Big defenseman, 6'4", 216 pounds, will sit this one out, and he'll have to be out for a few games, I would think.
Disappointing for him, but good news for the Wild, their fans, the management, and anyone else who likes to watch the Minnesota Wild. Kirill Kaprizov is back. As we said, that's huge for this team. That you get back number 97, that's always a good thing.
Look, when you lose your star player to any length of time, it's going to hurt you, and it certainly was a difference in Calgary. But Minnesota played so well in that hockey game. You know, they gave up, they were behind, but they battled back, and that's what you want. You want that battle, that compete factor to be with the players and with the team.
All right, we'll see if they can do it tonight. That's Tom Reed from the Al Shaver Press Box. He tells it it's Gustafsson versus Hellebuck. Those are your started goaltenders presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Honored to recognize the service of our military personnel with a 10% discount on many items for our service members. Offer valid in-store only. Joe O'Donnell joins next. It's a Central Division collision from St. Paul. This is Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.
To truly go inside the game of pro football, you need to see things from the player's perspective.
Let's go.
Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, catch the Player's Point. Join NFL tight end Colin Thompson and Packers running back A.J. Dillon as they break down the biggest stories in the NFL.
Hand off A.J. Dillon, powering his way. Touchdown.
The Player's Point. Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 and the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favourite SiriusXM FC shows on the all-new SiriusXM app, now available for all subscribers.
Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM. The biggest games in the world.
Ovechkin fires. He scores!
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
An exclusive presentation of the National Hockey League and the Minnesota Wild Radio Network.
State of Hockey and friends, and welcome to XL Energy Center here in St. Paul, Minnesota. Tonight we've got a showdown. The top two teams in the NHL taking center stage as the Wild back on home ice entertain the Winnipeg Jets. Glad to have you along. Welcome aboard, friends. Joe O'Donnell and Tom Reed with you. TR, when we left Winnipeg back on October the 13th, when these two teams first played together against one another, I should say, I don't know that I thought 5 weeks later they'd be the two top teams, points percentage in the NHL, but here we are. This should be a fun one.
Yeah, it should be, Joe. There's no question about it. These two teams have terrific starts. I look at Winnipeg and what they've accomplished. They have been so good, but you know what? They're back. I think they're coming back down to earth right now. They've lost a few games over the last few games they played, but at the same time, Minnesota, I think even this morning, you can feel the excitement in the dressing room, on the ice. They want to get this game started, and hopefully that'll be a good start for Minnesota.
Is this a statement game?
I would say it is. I think it really is. I mean, Minnesota lost, they went beyond the 60 minutes up in Winnipeg and lost that one in overtime. They didn't like that idea, so there's a little bit of a payback perhaps in the part of Minnesota.
The Jets are 17-4-0. They wrapped up a back-to-back in Pittsburgh, in Nashville. Saturday in Nashville, they fell 4-1. A game that was tied 1-1 after two periods, but the Jets gave up 3 in the third. To Tom's point, they are just 2-3-0 in their last 5 games, scoring just 2 total goals in those 3 losses. As for the Wild, 13-3-4 on the year. This is just their 8th home game Saturday in Calgary, a tough 4-3 shootout loss, but they rallied late to at least salvage a point in the standings and 5 out of 6 on the 3-game road trip. Hockey Fights, Cancer Night, special evening here in St. Paul, and a good one, the Wild and the Jets. Puck drop next. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
There's only one thing better than going to a Minnesota Wild game, and for me, that's breakfast. My breakfast always has to include Thomas's. They've got the crispy, warm nooks and crannies of a Thomas's English muffin, or sometimes I'll go with a crunchy on the outside Thomas's bagel. For me, Thomas's is the best way to start my day, and it should be yours too. With over 130 years of breakfast under their belt, Thomas's is ready to bring your breakfast to another level, because with Thomas's, breakfast tastes better.
Hey, hockey fans, it's time again to cheer on your favorite team and treat your family with a mouth-watering Carboni's Pizza for dinner. Carboni's Pizza was voted Best Pizza Twin Cities and has been serving pizza the whole family loves since 1954. Carboni's only uses the freshest ingredients and secret recipes to ensure your family is happy every time. The legacy of two hopeful young Italians is still present in every visit, every exchange, and in every bite. Over 30 locations to choose from. Find yours at Carboni's.com.
Ohio Stadium, where the Wolverine and Buckeye States meet to throw fuel on a century-old rivalry. But this time, it's different. This time, the roles of red and blue are reversed. This time, it's hockey at the shoe. The Blue Jackets and Red Wings take it outside with the Navy Federal Credit Union NHL Stadium Series. Buy tickets now.
Standing 6'2" and weighing in at over 200 pounds, Wild forward Yakov Trenyan is known for playing a heavy game and going to the dirty areas. There is nothing soft about Yakov Trenyan. Nothing. No, seriously, I'm actually a little afraid of him.
Hey, Wild fans, this is Yakov Trenyan.
Not weird. Wild.
Join us on November 30th and wear your white Wild gear. Fans also receive an exclusive Wild Whiteout t-shirt. Quantities are limited. Buy your tickets at wild.com/game.
Hey, Wild fans, this is Jared Spurgeon.
And I'm Jake Middleton. Welcome to Minnesota Wild Hockey.
Try and find him. He does, and they score! Jake Middleton!
Wild Hockey is presented in part by
Toyota, official vehicle of the Minnesota Wild. Anderson Windows and Doors. Love the life you see.
Lock it in and turn it up. Wild Hockey starts now.
Your Bryant Heating and Cooling dealers, doing whatever it takes since 1904. Catalyst Supply Co., building materials and install support. Boost your build. Tria Orthopedics, official team physicians of the Minnesota Wild. Excel Energy, proudly powering the great state of hockey with safe, clean, and reliable energy.
And now, with all the action,
here's Tom Reed and Joe O'Donnell.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
From the Al Shaver Press Box, XL Energy Center in St. Paul, Minnesota, where the weather is starting to get a touch chilly. Expecting a spicy one, though, here in the building tonight. It's the Wild and the Jets. Joe O'Donnell, Tom Reed back here with you. Philip Gustafson, Connor Hellebuck, starting goaltenders. Both these teams top 5 in the NHL in goals against average. The Wild are second. The Jets are third, in large part because of the guys starting in net tonight, Tom.
Yeah, and these are two good hockey clubs, no question about it. They deserve to be where they are right now. That's at the top of the NHL, the way they have played. So everyone right now really trying to step up here right now on both sides of that red line, and you can bet the start's going to be important for both these clubs, get their skates underneath them and make sure they've got lots of speed going into the offensive zone.
Wild from right to left on your radio dial in the opening period. Wear their green jerseys here tonight against their Central Division rival. Here is Eriksson Ek right off the hop, shooting one. Chest save Hellebuck just 10 seconds in. Jets from left to right in the opening period. They're donning their white sweaters. Cole Perfetti a long shot block. Pionk followed it up with the wrister. Blocker save Gustafson. Boldy got tied up in his netminder's goal crease. Lost his stick. In fact, there's another loose stick out on the ice. Nemestikov goes to the Jets bench, shaking his right arm. His glove is down on the ice as well, about 50 feet away from the stick as the Wild soar one ahead and both teams change.
The
Vladislav Nemestikov in a bit of pain on the Jets bench. As Kevin Fulton has talked about on the pregame show, Dylan Sandberg broke his foot Saturday in their last game. Big loss on the Winnipeg blue line. As Gustafsson here stops the shot, the rebound just got away from the goaltender, but Brock Faber, left wing side, clears safely ahead.
Yeah, good move by Faber, just getting the puck out of the defensive zone.
Jets tied for first in the NHL, 4.05 goals per game. I mentioned a moment ago, third in goals against average. To the point it comes, DeMello, a shot blocked by Faber. That loose stick still out on the ice, just inside the Wild blue line as Niederreiter tries to dig it free. Faber's there for Minnesota. To Trenyon, up to Foligno, couldn't get it out as he was bumped by Dylan DeMello. Foligno didn't like that hit by DeMello, well away from the play. He wrestled him for a moment, then let him go as Trenyon finds Foligno right back to Yakov Trenyon in a 1-on-2. Trenyon with the Wild changing behind the play. Spirits went around the end boards. We've got a pretty good pace going the early couple of minutes here tonight, Tom.
Yeah, you can also sense how physical it's going to be in this game just by the first couple of shifts they had out here.
Colin Miller now for the Jets, tries to fire one ahead. Hartman got a piece of it. It ends up in the stands right by the Wild bench, a couple of rows deep. $1.50 gone by in the first. No score.
And attention to our season ticket members. Once again, we're going to reward you for listening all season long. So get ready to earn forever reward points. Enter the code FIGHTER. That's FIGHTER. We may see some of that action tonight to receive 100 bonus points on your account. That offer will end at midnight tomorrow. These two teams don't like each other. No question about it. They want supremacy on both sides. And they're so close in the standings.
Billy Heinola for Winnipeg rattles one in. Interesting story. Young defenseman, a prospect in their system, but hasn't played in the NHL in a while. Fractured his ankle in the final preseason game of last year. Had surgery, got healthy, never got into an NHL game last year for the Jets, and then had surgery due to an infection in that ankle this preseason. He's finally back up in the National Hockey League. His Hartman with deflection, kicked out by Hellebuck. And the Jets look to counter. So Heinola replacing Sandberg. Other scratches for the Jets, David Gustafsson and Dylan Coughlin for the Wild. No Murat Husadinov for the second straight game. Matt Zuccarello still on IR. And John Merrill, a healthy scratch on defense. Lauko for Minnesota, a little chisel off the boards. Knocked away by Winnipeg. Ben Jones tries to counter. So the Wild's fourth line here tonight is Jones at center with Lauko on the left side and Devin Shore on the right side. Neil Pionk scales ahead, knocked down by Lauko at the blue line. The Jets then do fight it out to the neutral zone. Bogosian rips it right back in. A little bit more than 3 minutes gone by in the first. 2 shots per team, no score. Morgan Barron now for Winnipeg. Cruised it ahead, Rasmus Kupari. One of a few players acquired from the LA Kings in that Pierre-Luc Dubois trade. Of course, Dubois no longer with the LA Kings. He's already on to his next team. The Jets won that one in a landslide. Josh Morrissey now for Winnipeg. Off to Iafallo. At the right point, Dylan DeMello, the former Shark, labels it along. It is Morrissey trying to skitter ahead. Morrissey spinning one in the front of the net. Knocked down. Declan Chisholm taps along. Devin Shore out into center ice, hoping for Jules Eriksson. They'll chase against DeMello deep in the Jet zone. 16:15 to go, period 1.
Boy, the pace has been terrific so far in this first period. We've only played about just 4 minutes in the contest.
DeMello, a long up ice pass, and it's icing on Winnipeg.
Yeah, these two teams, once you settle in, you get that first shift, you're on the bench, you're anxious, you want to get out there. That first shift kind of sets the tone for both of these clubs, and Minnesota now just feeling a little bit better about themselves. And hopefully that will be the case as we go on here right now. But this being a home game for Minnesota has not had a lot of home games. The fewest in the National Hockey League, but they have performed well for this hockey club. Minnesota in the 7 games have gone 4-2-1 to give 9 points, scoring 19 goals, giving up 18 in that stretch.
Eriksson, Boldy, Kaprizov, Middleton in favor for the Wild. Boldy on the forecheck, coming off a 2-assist game. He steals, forces it to the right point. Faber, a long shot. Pinballed around in front, is grabbed by Mark Scheifele, who finds some help along the left wing boards, and it's trickled in by Gabriel Velarde. The Jets change on the fly. Let's see the matchup they won against the Wild's top line. They won't get the last change, of course, playing on the road, the Jets, but Getting a chance there, getting a puck out of their D zone. They quickly made a change in personnel. Kaprizov for Minnesota. Spirits one in the left wing corner. Faber looks to center. Eriksson Ek was checked. Couldn't get a shot through. Kaprizov stays with it. Knocks it around the boards. Charging to it, Faber. Angles it around Kaprizov left wing corner. Kaprizov trying to center. It was just tipped away from Boldy and out to the neutral zone.
Well, he had the right idea, and that puck just kind of slithered away from him.
Kaprizov, of course, missed Saturday's game in Calgary. The first game he has missed since January 12th of last season. Boldy carries the Wild in. Sent one to Chisholm. Chisholm back out in front for Boldy. It leaks to the point. Johansson over for a shot. It's knocked down in front. Hellebuck was sprawling out with Colin Millers, the player that kept that from the front of the net.
Yeah, good shot by Johansson, too, on the far side. Boy, he has really elevated his game this year for Minnesota.
And, of course, Declan Chisholm with that chance in the low slot for the Wild. A former Jets draft pick. That's who he began his NHL career with. The Wild cleaned him off waivers from the Jets last season.
And you can bet you that he remembers that also.
Absolutely. Johansson clears the zone, takes a pass. Now rink wide to the left circle for Hartman. Weak side is Bogosian taking that pass from Hartman, and a shot changed directions in front. Broke the stick of Nino Niederreiter, the former Wild forward. Hellebuck kicked it out. The Jets scale it back the other way. Almost 6 minutes gone by. Former Atlanta Thrashers draft pick Zach Bogosian. Up ice it comes. Freddie Gaudreau with a slap shot blocked to the corner. Trying to scurry to it, Marcus Johansson at the end of his shift. Johansson ended up in a heap. Nice check and center ice by Trenyon. As Berdine goes to Spurgeon, and right back to Jonas Berdine, who lobs it ahead. Johansson deflects it in. Trenyon on the forecheck. Trying to take a run at Hayden Fleury. The Jets come out with Pionk. His pass was tipped away from the reach of Kyle Connor. Connor's off to an outstanding start. Leads the Jets with 13 goals and 26 points so far. They're the top of the league in both of those categories.
Yeah, one of those goals, of course, was the overtime goal he scored against Minnesota up in Winnipeg.
Jets have to clear the line. Scheifele waits for his teammates to get back on side. Then he touches up. Freddie Gaudreau now for Minnesota. Jarring one along. Foligno a chip and chase. Trying to get past the offensive minded blue liner Josh Morrison. He will. Foligno onto the puck. Rolls around the left wing side. Stuffed it back at the point. Middleton took a look and then tried to fire one past some traffic. It deflects out the center. Middleton's back on it. Jake Middleton. Driver third in the NHL, plus minus coming in. Thierry Hedman's Foligno patiently waits and then slips one down low. Jones threw it to the back post where Short got behind Morgan Barron, but he couldn't deflect it towards the net of Connor Hellebuck.
Yeah, nice play by Jones. Get the puck in front of the net, then you can see his teammates just going to the other side also, taking a run at it. Couldn't put it by the goaltender.
Short deep in his own zone. Off to Middleton. Middleton spikes it off the right wing boards. Lauko tied up. That negates icing. Both teams change again on the fly. Only a couple of whistles here in the first 7.5 minutes from St. Paul. Wild from right to left on your radio dial. Couple points back of the Jets in the standings coming in. Minnesota's accrued 30 points through its first 20 games. As we hit the quarter point of the season, essentially the Jets 17-4-0, 34 points in 21 games. A wrist shot by Heinola from a tough angle. Knocked away by Gustafsson. Eriksson Ek to the rebound. Soars it ahead for Boldy. Boldy peels back inside his own line. And a great pass to Kaprizov. He's got a step. Kaprizov in along with a shot. Hellebuck made the save. Rebound snatched away as 97 and Green was hoping for a second bid.
Yeah, two of the top players in the National Hockey League. One a forward and the other being the goaltender. But boy, they made a great play.
Here's a steal by Boldy. He's got to break in with Rossi coming late. Boldy pivots, took a shot. Kick save, Hellebuck. Rebound just eluding Rossi. Kaprizov down in the corner for Boldy. Then off to Kaprizov. He was hoping for Rossi. Nothing there. Comes back at the point. Kaprizov a long shot. Hit that loose stick that's been on the ice for an eternity. In fact, that actually hindered the Wild's last break there. But I digress as the Jets throw it down for ice.
Yeah, unfortunately, he had the right idea. He was going to the front of the net with that puck. You see Kaprizov took the shot with it, but it hit that broken stick there and just changed direction. Took away a good scoring opportunity for Minnesota.
A couple of looks on the TV monitors. The stretch pass by Boldy to Kaprizov. Tried to go over the left pad. Hellebuck had the answer. And then that next odd man rush. Boldy on a bit of a break with Rossi coming late. When he pivoted the right circle, Tom, that loose broken stick was kind of right in his way.
Yeah, exactly. You look at the composition of the different line combinations also that they put together for Minnesota. Good feel from all these lines right now.
Here's a chance for Middleton. He scores! Jake Middleton bangs home a rebound. It's his 6th
Boy, that is such a confidence builder for Minnesota right now. They're looking to get that first goal, take some of the pressure out. But what a year that Middleton's having also. You look at the guy, 6'3", 220 pounds. He's a plus 16. Now he's a plus 17 on the season. 48 block shots, but that is goal number 4 for him and puts Minnesota on the board. The first goal coming on their 8th shot at 8 minutes and 37 seconds of the first period.
We're back to live action. Freddie Gaudreau shifts it in. Niederreiter tries to chop it out, held in by Bogosian. His shot, big rebound, bounced over the tape of Freddie Gaudreau. Gave it a whack, but whiffed on it.
Minnesota! 4th goal of the season for number 5, Jake Middleton. Assisted by number 90, Marcus Johansson. And number 7, Brock Faber. Time of the goal, 8:37. Middleton.
Bouncing puck in the Wild goal crease. Chisholm knifes it away from trouble. Left wing corner in his own zone. Will scurry back behind his own net. The Jets bail out on a change.
Yeah, good play by Chisholm also. Didn't get rattled with the puck, even though there's some white jerseys around him. They backed off, and now he's got good control behind the net with the puck.
Well, if you're going to beat the Jets, you better score first. Winnipeg was 10-0-0 coming in when getting the game's first goal. Wild when scoring first, 10-1-2. Here's a chance for Hartman. He'll carry over the blue line, right circle. Hartman waiting for some late help, spins it around Rossi, grabs it, taps into the right wing corner. I was wondering if the Wild would be tired here tonight, Tom. Another road trip, just that one day off yesterday, getting in about midnight, getting the day off, but they have come out ready as the Jets equal the scores. Iafallo cuts in front, backhands one past Gustafsson, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, he gets a loose puck coming his way. He's coming in from that from that left side also. Takes the puck, and he just says, number 9, able to put that one away on the backhand, as you call it, Joe. The one thing is, for him, that is his 3rd goal of the season, and gives him 99 goals in his NHL career. This goal coming at 10:03 of the first.
The puck kind of bounced off of Spurgeon. Kupari checked him, dug it free, and really just an overall good play on the forecheck by Rasmus Kupari to set that one up for Iafallo.
Well, that's just slow things down just a little bit, I would think, right now. Face-off is the center ice, and always disappointing when you score a goal like that, and very quickly a team coming back like that, like Winnipeg did, that gives them a little more energy also. So just have to kind of take it in stride and just hopefully just
season for number 9.
Get yourself back in position to make something happen.
Assisted by number 15, Rasmus Kupari.
Icing waved off here on the Jets. As that puck deflected, the Wild back to try and grab it. Kupari getting away from some pressure. Rasmus Kupari now 3 points on the season. I note that because last year in 28 games, just a single assist, and that was it. Got 2 goals and a helper now on the Jets' 4th line. Declan Chisholm out of Minnesota ice to carry ahead. Deep in his own zone. Eventually a right wing pass. Eriksson Ek stashes it down low. Pionk pressured by Boldy. Kaprizov tries to support on the forecheck. Jets work it to the right side where Velarde tips out the center. Eriksson Ek pushes it back. Spurgeon smacks it ahead. Boldy on the tape of Eriksson Ek. He's got some room. He'll kick it back. Kaprizov right circle. Fighting past some trouble. Got one of the points. Spurgeon, a shot blocker save. Hellebuck. Rebound knocked around and forced to the left wing side by Scheifele and angled out the center.
Minnesota's done a nice job in the passing also in this hockey, and right now they lead in the shot department also by 10-7.
A little floater in from Boldy from long range is scooped up by Hellebuck, and we've got a timeout, which I'm sure both teams could use. Frenetic pace to start, 8:45 to go in the opening frame when we come back to St. Paul, the Wild and the Jets. It's 1-1. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favorite Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
The biggest plays.
What a save!
Hits.
Oh, hard hit.
Goals.
McDavid scores!
Tune to NHL Network Radio for the most in-depth hockey talk on the planet.
He is the GM of the Minnesota Wild.
Insiders,
The revenues and the big business.
and the best analysis on the air. The NHL on Sirius XM. Hear every team and your hometown call. NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on demand with the Sirius XM app. Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
The only two players in the history of the National Hockey League to have 600 goals, 1,600 points, 3 Stanley Cups, and 2 Conn Smythes. Wayne and Sid. Just it absolutely blows your mind how good Sidney Crosby is and how much we take him for granted.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
Well, 8:45 to go here in the first period. It's a 1-1 game. Minnesota opened the scoring. Middleton is 4th of the season with an assist going to Johansson and also Faber. Then it was the Winnipeg Jets coming right back. High-Follow picks up goal number 3 on his year with Kapara getting the only assist. That's his first one of the season. Right now the face-off is going to be deep in the Winnipeg zone. Minnesota's done a nice job with shots on goal so by moving the puck well. They're playing against, of course, remember this. Winnipeg number 1 in the NHL right now. Minnesota number 2.
Eriksson Ek on the faceoff, muscled it back. Faber outlets right wing boards. Boldy pressured by Morrissey, so he lifted it around the net. Mason Appleton grabs it. Appleton curls off a hit. So it's Lowry, Appleton, Niederreiter. One of the best shutdown lines, and they're pretty good offensively too in all of hockey. Against Kaprizov, Boldy, and Zuccarello in this sequence, and we'll see if John Hines tries to stay away from that matchup as this game moves along as a long shot. No trouble there. Gustafsson catches it and hangs on.
Yeah, and you mentioned that line led by Lowry. This is a line that really can shut things down. And John talked about this morning the fact that how good they are collectively, and they don't waver at all. Everything is always the same. How they play their game, they play strong, they play hard, they play physical.
And the three of them have combined for 39 points in the young season.
Yeah, that's not bad.
14 apiece for Niederreiter and Lowry. And 4 goals, 7 assists for 11 points for Mason Appleton out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Right point, Hartman, pass, blocked, comes out to center, will regather, and scoop it rink wide. Marcus Johansson swings it back. Jake Middleton over to Brock Faber. Faber taps off the boards. Johansson up past the check, but lost the puck. Down low it comes. Good diving play by Faber. Kept Nikolai Ehlers from a centering pass. And the Wild counter with Hartman. Hartman got past the check. Hartman in on his backhand, spun it to his forehand. A shot by Johansson. Kicked out by Hellebuck.
Wow, what a nice play by Hartman. Made a terrific move there, and Minnesota just couldn't put it in. I thought Johansson had it for sure.
The scoring chances for the Wild in this hockey game are probably going to give Scott Arniel, the Jets head coach, gray hair. Boy, there have been some golden scoring opportunities for Minnesota. Thomas icing here on the Wild Holtz play.
I was just thinking, going back to the training camp, how difficult the camp was for the players, and they knew it. But boy, they worked so hard. Their passing has been good. It's been fast. It's been accurate, and that's what you want. But you have to have the speed to go with it also, and then not just the speed of the puck, but the speed of the skates also. This team, referring to Minnesota, has had a terrific start to this campaign after a tough year last year.
Goudreau.
I can't believe we're a quarter into the schedule.
I know. Which means we have how much left?
Well, after tonight, we play 21, so we'll have, 61.
All right.
I do my quick math.
Sorry, I gave you that one on the fly. Here's Foligno cutting behind the net of Hellebuck after the Wild worked the defensive zone draw on enemy ice. Foligno muscled past some trouble, worked at the point. Brodin, a shot blockers in. Goudreau trying to tap the rebound free. Backhanded a shot. Left pad save Hellebuck. Boy, the reigning Vezina Trophy winner's on his game early.
And watching Foligno, he's having a little bit of set to also the same out there with Leon. We'll see if that develops into anything.
Mark Scheifele for the Jets. Rink wide, Kyle Connor with a wrister off the crossbar. Boy, he can let it fly. Now a long shot by Halena. Catches the glass, and Trenyon soars it ahead. Kaprizov, fresh off the Wild bench, lost it. Scheifele rumbles in. He's all by himself, so he taps down low, trying to work around Declan Chisholm. Nothing there. Bogosian to pick up the puck. Now Jules Eriksson. Right back to Zach Bogosian. Bogosian flips it along Kaprizov, left to back Chisholm, a hurried shot, that whistled wide. Matt Boldy to the carom. In the corner by Kupari. Bogosian still down low in the offensive zone, check Heinola. And the Wild keep in right point, Chisholm. Pumps it down low, Kaprizov spun off the head of Colin Miller, lifted one to the slot. Eriksson couldn't grab it cleanly. Boldy to the corner, to the right of Hellebuck. Jets steal for a moment. Boldy now back on it. Swings it to the left point, Bogosian. Saunters it back down low. It rolls around the boards, Chisholm. Between the legs, past Kaprizov. Up near the blue line, hands it off to Boldy. Boldy fakes a shot, dances along the blue line, then fired one. It deflected wide. Chisholm trying to hold in, but the Jets pop it out to center. Quick regroup by the Wild. Boldy, though, couldn't wait. Kaprizov, dead tired, trying to get out of the zone, was trapped. And Boldy in a bit early. Because of it, it's offside on Minnesota. 5:40 to go in the first. Good one so far, 1-1. The Wild and the Jets here in St. Paul. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Getting the care you need when you need it should be simple. At Health Partners in Park Nicollet, our clinics, hospitals, and specialties are all connected to give you a streamlined experience. That's because our system-wide health record ensures everyone on your care team is on the same page. And every day we're offering more ways to make it easier to get great care. Like virtual visits, hybrid preventive care, online scheduling, mobile check-in, save my spot for urgent care, and more. Visit healthpartners.com/wild today.
Hey, Minnesota Wild fans, fuel up for game day with Just Bear Chicken, the official chicken of the Wild. At Just Bear Chicken, we believe the best meals start with the best ingredients. That is why all our chickens are raised with no antibiotics ever, so you can enjoy delicious and nutritious chicken with confidence. Find Just Bear Chicken in the fresh or frozen aisle at your local grocery store today. And let's go Wild. Central Division scoreboard.
In the Central tonight, 6 of 8 are in action, including the 2 here in St. Paul. The Colorado Avalanche are skating in Tampa. I bet they wish they weren't. The Lightning lead the Avalanche 6-1, 7:44 left to go in the second. Nikita Kucherov with his 12th of the year amongst the goal scorers. Elsewhere in the Central tonight, the Predators are in New Jersey. I bet they wish they weren't. The Devils lead 3-1 with 5:13 left to go in the second. Blues and Rangers are knotted at 2 apiece in the Big Apple. Stars lead the Hurricanes 3-1, 5:42 left to go in the second in Raleigh. That's it for now. Back to Joe and Tom.
Yeah, we got 5:40 to go here in the first period. Shots right now, Minnesota in the lead in that department, 13-9, but it's a 1-1 game. Minnesota opened the scoring, but the Jets came right back. A couple minutes later, they tied up. Face-off just outside the defensive zone of Winnipeg.
Gaudreau, Foligno, Trenyon with Middleton in favor. Lowry line out for Winnipeg with DeMello and Morrissey. Josh Morrissey, second in the league amongst defensemen in points, coming in behind only Cale Makar. Niederreiter fires one in front. Lowry's tip knuckles wide. Left wing corner his own zone, Foligno. Shifted it along. Held in. Niederreiter trying to center for Appleton. Batted away by first Trenyon, then Faber. And Gaudreau carries the Wild ahead, skying it into open ice. Trenyon after it. Left wing corner offensive zone. Rims it around. Faber inside the blue line. Hurried a shot. Hit some skates. Came out in front. Gaudreau fakes a drive. Got it back to the point. Middleton finds Faber. Walks in. Wristed one. Hellebuck the save. And a whistle.
Good shot coming from that point position. Also, you want to get it to the front of the net there. You can see that the green jersey's going to that front of the net at the same time. And Faber does a good job of just making sure a good wrist shot. And you watch him also, Joe, and I said this last time we saw him play up in Calgary. He's always looking where he's shooting. You know, a lot of guys go look and look down, but he just seems to know where that puck is all the time in the blade of his stick. There gives him a better opportunity to get the puck to where he wants it to go.
5 minutes left in period one. 14 first period shots for the Wild. Minnesota at home this year, 4-2-1, but they haven't scored a lot lately at home. And I know that's kind of an odd statement because they haven't played a lot of home games, but just 7 goals over the last 4 home games coming in. But a lot of chances here, including another one by Boldy off the draw. Hellebuck through some traffic, made the kick save. Boldy now with it again, around the net, hoping for Kaprizov. No lane there, so he got one to the point. Middleton a drive, and that's in the glove of Hellebuck. And now Pionk and Eriksson wrapped up with one another, and all the Jets and Wild players outside of Minnesota's defense, of course, because they can't encroach on a scrum, finding a body to grab onto there.
Well, wouldn't you know, the Eriksson right in that blue paint area once again. He takes a lot of abuse out there. Pionk took the first swing at him, and of course Eriksson come right back. I don't know if I've ever seen Eriksson really in a fight. They may have called one against him, but I don't think he's really been one. That's not his role. You don't want a guy like him fighting you, but you have to protect yourself, and he battles right back. He's not afraid to mix it up.
Eriksson Ek on the draw here against Velarde. Eriksson Ek won 75% of his faceoffs in Calgary Saturday. Here's Kaprizov with a long shot off the one draw. Blocked to the corner. Brodin was down there offensively. He tried to leave it back. Kaprizov battles. Pionk, though, nudged it free, and then it sailed out of play.
Oh, that's a delay.
The second that puck left the stick of Velarde, he threw his head up into the air. He knew it.
Yep, he's going to beat the referee to the penalty box.
Winnipeg penalty number 13, 2-minute minor, delay of game.
Timeout here in St. Paul, Minnesota. To the man advantage when we come back. It's 1-1, the Wild and the Jets. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
So, after you lift weights, your body keeps burning calories for hours post-workout. Oh, like a BMO Savings Builder account. What? With BMO, I can get a reward every month I save. So, you're getting an extra reward for the work you've already done? Exactly. Plus, BMO gave me a cash bonus when I opened a checking account. That's a flex. This is a flex. Check out these pythons.
Pump up your savings with BMO. Conditions apply. Learn more at BMO.com/kickstart. Accounts are subject to approval and are provided in the United States by BMO Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
BMO.
As a business leader, every day brings countless decisions. Some big, some small, some easy, and some you need to sleep on. Work with a banker who gets you, gets your business, and can help you make the right decisions to meet your goals. So you're not just navigating between choices, you're planning your success. Work with Bremer Bank, because understanding is everything. Put us to work for you today at bremer.com.
Let's face it, winter can be a hard season. It's cold pretty much all the time. Blizzard. You have to shovel. Another blizzard. You slip on ice. But you know what makes winter suck a little less? Getting a free phone. Join Cricket Nation and get a free Samsung Galaxy A15 5G. Ooh, ouch. Welcome to enjoying more. Welcome to Cricket Nation. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. Must open a new line on the $60 unlimited plan. First month service charge and tax due at sale. Fees, terms, and other restrictions apply. See cricketwireless.com for details.
Well, Minnesota going in the first power play of this hockey game is tied up at 1 apiece for the delay of game, and that's going to go against Velarde coming at 15:32 of the first period. Face off deep in the Winnipeg zone. When Winnipeg stay out of the penalty box, that was the theme this morning because they are number one overall in National Hockey when it comes to scoring power play goals.
Wild have been a very disciplined team this year. We'll see if they can take advantage of their first power play of the evening. Now Eriksson Ek's thrown from the draw because they're going to say Boldy encroached on the circle to his left. So Rossi into taken now. Rossi, Boldy, Eriksson Ek, Kaprizov, and Faber for the Wild power play, which was 1 for 3 Saturday in Calgary, 16th in the league overall. Jets PK is 21st. They gave up a goal Saturday in Nashville in their 4-1 loss, and they've given up a power play goal in 3 straight games. As Winnipeg clears down off a failed pass, they're able to break it up and shift it down the ice. Brock Faber from right to left on your radio dial. The drop pass for Kirill Kaprizov. Carries into the Jet zone, forced it off right side of Rossi. Down below the goal line now Kaprizov, and he tried to play it back at the point, but Faber has been tied up with Morgan Barron for about 10 seconds, and that wouldn't allow Faber to get over to get that puck, so Wild have to reset.
Yeah, Joe, you look at Barron also. He's got 2 shorthanded goals for Winnipeg this year. They have a total of 2, and he's got them both.
Kaprizov to Boldy, forced his way in left side, tossed it down low, bounced away from Morrissey and Kaprizov. Rossi tries to dig it free against Kupari. A log jam along the wall to the left of Connor Hellebuck. Officials begging the players to keep it moving, which I'm sure the Wild would love to do. They're on a power play here for another 63 seconds. Jets continue to just bottle it up along the boards. Good work by Kupari. Finally, Rossi dug it free. Faber's got a lane through the slot. Off to Boldy, left circle. Protects. Angles to the high slot. Boldy pivots. Turns to his forehand in the right wing corner. Kaprizov back up top to Boldy. Slipped along for Brock Faber. Shoved the way of Boldy. Right side Kaprizov, a one-timer. Answered by Hellebuck. He read it well.
Yeah, and once again, there's Kaprizov. He's situated to the left of the goaltender in the far circle, and he knows exactly where the net is. I was watching him the other night at practice, and he just had numerous shots, probably about 15 to 20 shots from the same place, and every one of them found its way into the net. And it's a very tough angle, so that's something they practice at all the time.
Now it's Gaudreau, Johansson, Hartman, Chisholm, and Spurgeon for the second unit. The Wild power play, 3:10 to go in the period. Wild win the faceoff back. Chisholm labels it along. Spurgeon sweeps it back to Goudreau. Back of the net, Johansson. Right back to Goudreau. Tough angle shot. Stopped by Hellebuck. Rebound. Paddled around. Not clear. Chisholm outside the right circle. Hooks it along to the hash marks. Johansson dangles with it. Back up top, Chisholm. Left side, Spurgeon. A one-timer. Kick save, Hellebuck. That's 18 shots now in period one for Minnesota. 2:45 to go in the frame. Still a power play for the Wild. Spurgeon a chance in front stop. Goudreau whacks at the rebound. Hellebuck a couple of saves in tight. Johansson now filters it off the boards. Hartman holds in. Slipped it off the dasher. Knocked away. Morgan Barron skates it ahead and flicks it down. Power play is over. My goodness, what opportunities for the Wild. Hartman right back over the line. Trying to get past Morrissey. Took a shot. Stopped by Hellebuck. And a rebound played out the center. Regroup by the Wild, a tip-in by Johansson, knocked down by Morrissey, so it didn't get as deep as the Wild would have liked there. Ehlers the other way, shovels it in.
Yeah, I think on that power play also, Joe, I think Minnesota had 3 or 4 good shots.
Ben Jones tries to sky one along. Morrissey able to mute that, keep it away from Lauko, who's ahead of the pack. The Jets counter here with Ehlers. His pass blocked. Brodin absorbed that, and Shore skies along. Lauko's got a full head of steam. Morrissey staring him down. Lauko jams on the brakes outside the right circle. Fired one in front. Morrissey knocked that away, and the net off its moorings behind Hellebuck, and a whistle.
I'm not sure where they're going to put the face off. I believe it should stay deep in the Winnipeg zone. There's a defenseman knocked the Minnesota player into the net, so that we'll see exactly where they place it. Both teams getting a chance to get some fresh players on the ice as they adjust the position of the net. 1:45 to go here in period number 1. Scott Melleby works for the St. Louis Blues, will be our guest after the first period. Longtime player in the NHL, and a lot going on in St. Louis right now. They dismissed their coach and brought in a new coach, and we're only a quarter of the schedule. poor coaches, they don't get much support sometimes.
Eriksson and Nemestikov on the draw. Nemestikov guiding it back. Pion curls out of the corner and soars it out to center ice. Faber picked it up, chucks it the way of Boldy. He'll backhand it in. Eriksson pressures Pion. Pion hammered by Eriksson. Boldy able to steal. Boldy winds it to the left point. Jake Middleton, who has the Wild goal. Long shot, batted down in front. Just poked away from the reach of Faber, who had it taken away then by Kyle Connor. And he'll feed Scheifele. Scheifele lifts it into the Wild zone as the Jets change behind the play. Boldy and Scheifele come together. Boldy did well to win that battle. And now it's Kaprizov trying to get it out. Couldn't. Jets shovel towards the slot. That was knocked away. At the right point, Colin Miller a bit, and that's in the equipment of Gustafsson. Feels like that's the first shot in a while for the Jets. Now a big swinging shot by Middleton. Scheifele took umbrage with it. Middleton will wrestle him down. We're going to have penalties, I believe, to both sides. Middleton got away with the first shot. He didn't like Scheifele in his blue paint there.
He did not.
And Scheifele took umbrage with it, both big boys.
I would assume it will be coincidental, but you just never know.
You do not ever know for sure. Tom Reedus, we found out over the weekend in Edmonton and Calgary. And maybe Scheifele's not getting a penalty. Wait, hang on.
4-on-4, I think is he saying 4-on-4, I do believe.
Scott Arniel, Jets head coach, took over for Rick Bowness. Wants a explanation. Middleton certainly got his money's worth. We'll see if they are even up or not.
Winnipeg penalty, 2 minutes for roughing. Minnesota penalty, 4 minutes for roughing. Winnipeg will be a power play final four.
I had a feeling that was coming.
Well, it comes to exactly 19 minutes of the first period, tied up at 1 apiece in power play, and we talked about this before. Winnipeg, 33.9%, number 1 overall. Nothing against Nashville the other night, 0 for 3, but their last 5 games they've had 2 for 17, but they have 21 power play goals this year.
I mean, did Middleton get 2 extra minutes because he won the wrestling match? I just don't get it.
I think because he gave the first swing, maybe that's why, but who knows?
Final minute
it's a guessing game.
Of the first, Bogosian lasers one off the glass and all the way down. John Hines said this morning, Tom, and you touched on it, Jets power play very dangerous. Numbers speak for themselves, but he said they can essentially hurts you in a variety of ways. It's not just one way that they're scoring all these power play goals. 21 of them through 21 games for Winnipeg, which is the most since the franchise relocated from Atlanta, as far as the first 21 games go, and power play goal totals. Perfetti dropped it back. Connor ripped it to the right side. Velarde had his pocket pick. Jets get back on it. Perfetti centers, swiped away by Bogosian, and will angle it off the boards.
Yeah, good play by Bogosian. Took a look there, hesitated momentarily. He saw a white jersey, and they just get it all the way down the ice.
Trenyon shorthanded, won a battle on the forecheck, but then gave it away, and Connor starts up ice. Connor drops it off Perfetti with a feed to Ehlers. Nikolai Ehlers having a banner campaign. Bottom of the left circle, threw one in front. Velarde's tip ends up in the corner. Spurgeon watched him carefully. Connor now turning and shooting at the buzzer. No trouble there for Philip Gustafson, and we are through one, and a good one at that, in St. Paul. The Wild and the Jets, the two top teams in the NHL in points percentage, play to a 1-1 stalemate after one period here tonight.
Yeah, good period by Minnesota also. Look at the shots on that right now, Joe. 19 by Minnesota, 8 shots on the other side, but it's a 1-1 game.
Take a break. Scott Mellenby from the St. Louis Blues to join Tom Reed shortly, plus a recap of all the action so far. It's a 1-1 game after one. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
To truly go inside the game of pro football, you need to see things from the player's perspective.
Let's go.
Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, catch the Player's Point. Join NFL tight end Colin Thompson and Packers running back A.J. Dillon as they break down the biggest stories in the NFL.
Hand off A.J. Dillon, powering his way. Touchdown!
The Player's Point. Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on SiriusXM NFL Radio, Channel 88, and the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Fort Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Bristol line and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
The biggest plays.
What a save!
Hits.
Oh, hard hit.
Goals.
McDavid scores!
Tune to NHL Network Radio for the most in-depth hockey talk on the planet.
He is the GM of the Minnesota Wild.
Insiders.
The revenues and the big business.
And the best analysis on the air. The NHL on SiriusXM. Hear every team and your hometown call. NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91. And on demand with the SiriusXM app. 24/7 hockey talk.
To understand that you are allowed to legally still check the head, not just the head. The head by itself is a penalty. If you wanted to change it, that would be like in the IIHF. That's probably a penalty at the Olympics. That's probably at the World Juniors. That guy's gone and suspended. I ask you, do you want that?
SiriusXM, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. Hockey 24/7 on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
The only two players in the history of the National Hockey League to have 600 goals, 1,600 points, 3 Stanley Cups, and 2 Conn Smythes. Wayne and Sid. Just like it absolutely blows your mind how good Sidney Crosby is and how much we take him for granted.
SiriusXM, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. NHL Morning Skate.
Logan Thompson with the Washington Capitals.
So talk about a team that kind of found their oats again.
Yeah, we brought in a lot of young guys who, have a lot of talent, and we're just looking for fresh starts. And part of this dressing room and the leadership that was in this dressing room, they brought us in and we just gelled so natural. Guys are playing up to their caliber and proving everyone wrong, and it's really fun to see. And
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Welcome back to St. Paul, the XL Energy Center. After one period of play, it's a tie score of 1-1. Minnesota in the lead in the department of shooting at 19 shots by them now, 9 on the other side. I'm Tom Reed. Please be joined with Scott Mellenby with the St. Louis Blues. And Scott, you and I have talked. You played the game a long, long time, and that was a good first period for Minnesota.
Yeah, it was very good. Nice to see you, Tommy. Looking good. Hellbuck had a hell of a period, and obviously two great teams going out of here. So it was, Minnesota certainly had some high-end scoring chances. You get 19, 20 shots a period, you're happy with that.
Yeah, and so often it goes down to goaltending. When you look at the top two goaltenders in the league with save percentage and also goals against average, both these guys on the ice tonight are playing against each other, and it starts with the goaltending. If you've got goaltending, the chance of you winning a game are much, much better.
Yeah, for sure. And it just, I played on a lot of teams over the years that had good seasons and played in some Stanley Cup finals, and whether it was Ronnie Hextall winning the Conn Smythe Trophy in '87 or Johnny Van Beesbrook in '96 with Florida, when you have a goalie back there that's you can really depend on and rely on, it just grows the confidence of the team as you go along. You're not going to have your best every night, but your goalie's going to be good for you back there. You got a chance.
Yeah, really, and I look at last year, it was kind of a down year for Minnesota, obviously, for the Wild and for the goaltending. But coming to camp this year, and you've been to a lot of camps, and I don't think I've ever seen a camp that was as hard on the players as this one was. They worked hard every time, and the coach let them know at the beginning, guys, it's going to change. It's going to be much more difficult. And the result of that is that you're going to have a much stronger start this year, and they've had that.
Yeah. Well, I think it starts at the top. I think, Billy Guerin is he's a friend of mine, and I give him credit for the way he's conducted himself here with the team, and he set the standard at the end of the year. He said it wasn't good enough. There's a lot of guys in that dressing room been here a number of years and have grown together and have a lot of pride, and they come to play and they play hard, and they wanted to bounce back. So it's been pretty apparent in the way they've come out, their conviction as a team and as a group. And like I said, you got a lot of guys, you go through their roster, a lot of guys who've been here growing together over the last 4, 5, 6 years or so, and they took the message to heart, and they were a proud group. They've come back and played well.
I look at your record, also the fact you played over 1,400 games and over almost 2,500 penalty minutes, which goes with your type of game you like to play. But there are certain games you really get up for, when you're playing them, regardless of where you are in the standings at that point. It just seems that it's a game that show me how and see what happens. This seems to be one of those games where I think players on both sides, this is a big game for both of them.
Yeah, for sure it is. There's a lot of things going into it. There's obviously a history of a rivalry within the division over the last number of years where both teams have been pretty good teams. You've got proximity. There's always a good amount of people from Winnipeg that seem to make it down to Minnesota. And you've got the fact that they're right at the top of the league right now as far as battling for not only first place in their division but first in the league. It's going to bring the best out of you, and those division games, like I said, you build up some animosity towards the other team, and you had things like happen there at the end with Middleton and Scheifele, and that kind of stuff builds and progresses as seasons and years and things go along. It just you don't forget those kinds of things, and it's good for the rivalry, good for the fans. They enjoy it.
Yeah, I agree. It's usually a payback situation sometimes where somebody does something to you. In the old days, you kind of wait your time, and with only one referee, when he looks the other way, then you would do something and create the howling of the crowd. And by the time the referee turns around, the guy who is guilty is not, and the guy who gets it gets it.
Well, I think there was a little bit more. The game's changed. We all know that, and for good. But the policing of the game is still there for the players to a point. But certainly, I think the league has tried to take some of that and have the referees try to police things a little bit more. So it's a little bit tougher sometimes to settle some of those scores, but the players still find a way to do it.
Yeah, I look at your team, the St. Louis Blues, and of course, when you have to make a change, you've got to do it early so often. You guys made a coaching change yesterday, I believe, with Drew Bannister being let go. Not that he was a bad coach, but Doug Armstrong, the GM there, felt that he had a better coach he's able to bring in and make something good happen.
Yeah, well, it is unfortunate for Drew. It's a business. We're in a business. Doug is a very highly regarded manager, been around a long time, and I think he said it. He said it best. He had a relationship with Jim from the past, through the St. Louis Blues, and he's held him in high esteem. He's thought of as one of the special coaches out there in the league, and those guys don't become available every day. And he felt that, short-term and long-term for the organization, it was the right thing to do. And like I said, it's like players. I mean, the top guys in the league don't come available every day, and he felt that it was something that he felt strongly about doing for the organization.
Yeah, and Jim Montgomery, of course, he's been successful wherever he's been, whether it be college hockey at Denver, whether it be the Dallas Stars and into Boston and so on, but he's been very, very good.
Dubuque in the USHL as well, he won a championship there. Yeah.
And, he's just one of those guys that like Doug said, it's time for us to do something now because we get something better coming in. Not that they're upset with Drew Bannister, but because somebody better has come along. That's what you do.
Yeah, no question. Like I think Doug spelled it out. He said this is not about Drew as much as this is about how he felt about Jim. So it's time to move forward now. And like I said, it's a tough business sometimes, but it is a business, and we'll move forward.
Yeah, Scott Melleby, our guest here, with the St. Louis Blues, and I guess, Scott, when you look at these two teams right now, they're battling hard. Minnesota had a very good first period, but goaltending at both ends has been very, very good for both these teams all year long.
Yeah. No, I mean, it is, and it's, I thought early on there you really saw two teams ready to play. Like when you see, sometimes whistles happen, but when you see minutes and minutes and minutes go by, the first half of that period, I thought it seemed to me like there was very few whistles, and that's two teams that are dialed in, good teams, good execution, paying attention to not being offside. They're just little details that when you see two teams that are really ready to play and are good teams. And then we had a few TV timeouts in the second half because we had to get that in, but they were ready to play, and it was a good period. I think if you're Winnipeg, you're happy to get out of it where you're at because I think the goalie, was a difference maker at both ends. They were both good, but I'd like to see a little spice there at the end too. It's going to make for a fun last couple of periods.
Yeah, I think you're right. You so often see changes made after that first period. They slow things down a little bit more so in the second period. Do you think we'll see that tonight?
I don't know. It's hard. It's really tough to say. I think the way these teams are playing, if some of that animosity becomes people taking penalties, I think that could take away some of the flow. Now, it could create offense, but I think, long change. Both teams have some good offensive players. I think you could see a lot of great plays, and I thought there was a lot of excellent plays and sharp puck movement in that period, especially from Minnesota, but from both teams. So, I'm not saying there'd be a lot of goals, but with the long change and good offensive players on both teams, I think you could see a lot of exciting hockey this period.
Well, hope you're right. Scott, thanks for being with us.
All right, Tommy, thank you.
You're welcome. Kevin, let's go back to you.
Thank you, Tom, and thank you, Scott, for joining us in the intermission. We'll get you a gift certificate down to Tom Reed's Hockey City Pub. After one period of play, the Jets and Wild are knotted at a goal apiece. Full recap of the opening 20 minutes is next. This is Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.
Hey, Wild fans, fall weather is knocking on our doors, and you know what that means. Chilly days are just around the corner. That's why it's good to know the knowledgeable, friendly dealers at Bryant Heating and Cooling who will do whatever it takes to keep your furnace running efficiently no matter what the weather throws at you. Plus, score up to $2,600 in tax credits on qualifying Bryant systems. And ask about rebates and financing for qualified buyers. Find your local dealer at Bryant.com. Bryant, official heating and cooling company of the Minnesota Wild.
Every day starts full of promise, excitement, opportunity. But at the same time, every day can also come with a lot of curveballs. This is where Daily Pay can help. If you work on the daily, you should see your money on the daily. Daily Pay allows you to access your earned wages before payday. So, what's stopping you from making the most of it? Of waking up today and making that move or seizing that moment? Take control of your finances and find out if your company offers Daily Pay. Visit us at get.dailypay.com.
No matter who you are or what you do, there's a Ford vehicle that can help you own the day. Make life on the go a walk in the park with the new Ford Explorer. Become the MVP of the work site with the unrivaled performance of a new built Ford Tough F-Series truck, the best-selling trucks in America. Or discover what it really means to adventure in the great outdoors with the new Bronco Sport. Whether it's for work or play, there's a Ford with a great deal waiting at your local Northland Ford dealers. Don't wait. Get behind the wheel of a new Ford today. Based on calendar year total sales.
Getting the care you need when you need it should be simple. At Health Partners in Park Nicollet, our clinics, hospitals, and specialties are all connected to give you a streamlined experience. That's because our system-wide health record ensures everyone on your care team is on the same page. And every day we're offering more ways to make it easier to get great care. Like virtual visits, hybrid preventive care, online scheduling, mobile check-in, Save My Spot for urgent care, and more. Visit healthpartners.com/wild today.
Middleton for the Wild, Iafallo for the Jets. 1-1 is your score after one period of play. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.
Centers. Hockey comes alive. Only Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
To get this, Wild 21-9 for the Jets. That means 20 saves in the first period for Connor Hellebuck. Not a bad night's work for Philip Gustafson either. 8 first period saves for the Wild. Thus far, both teams 0 for 1 on the power play, but the Jets skate with the man advantage when we continue. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
So, after you lift weights, your body keeps burning calories for hours post-workout. Oh, like a BMO Savings Builder account. What?
With BMO, I can get a reward every month I save.
So, you're getting an extra reward for the work you've already done?
Exactly. Plus, BMO gave me a cash bonus when I opened a checking account.
That's a flex.
This is a flex.
Check out these pythons.
Pump up your savings with BMO. Conditions apply. Learn more at BMO.com/kickstart. Accounts are subject to approval and are provided in the United States by BMO Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
BMO.
Getting the care you need when you need it should be simple. At Health Partners in Park Nicollet, our clinics, hospitals, and specialties are all connected to give you a streamlined experience. That's because our system-wide health record ensures everyone on your care team is on the same page. And every day we're offering more ways to make it easier to get great care. Like virtual visits, hybrid preventive care, online scheduling, mobile check-in, Save My Spot for urgent care, and more. Visit healthpartners.com/wild today.
Standing 6'2" and weighing in at over 200 pounds, Wild forward Yakov Trenyan is known for playing a heavy game and going to the dirty areas. There is nothing soft about Yakov Trenyan. Nothing. No, seriously, I'm actually a little afraid of him.
Hey, Wild fan. This is Yakov Trenyan.
Not weird. Wild.
'Tis the hockey season. Celebrate the holidays and enjoy a Wild game with friends and family in a private suite. Learn more at wild.com/comfort.
The wait is almost over.
This crowd is ready for hockey.
The world's best players take the ice to compete for their country. International Best on Best Hockey comes to Boston as Bruin stars Brad Marchand of Team Canada and Charlie McAvoy of Team USA compete to see which hockey nation will reign. Canada, Finland, Sweden, USA. The Four Nations Face-Off. Get your tickets today.
You have a plan for your business and a vision for its future. So it's important to have a banking partner that works to understand all of your goals and what it will take to help you reach them. Work with a banker who is dedicated to listening first and providing insightful, personalized advice that's right for you and your business. Work with Bremer Bank because understanding is everything. Put us to work for you today at bremer.com.
Getting the care you need when you need it should be simple. At Health Partners in Park Nicollet, our clinics, hospitals, and specialties are all connected to give you a streamlined experience. That's because our system-wide health record ensures everyone on your care team is on the same page. And every day we're offering more ways to make it easier to get great care. Like virtual visits, hybrid preventive care, online scheduling, mobile check-in, Save My Spot for urgent care, and more. Visit healthpartners.com/wild today.
Back here for the second period, XL Energy Center. The Wild and Jets tied at 1. Winnipeg starts period 2 with 61 seconds left of a power play. Tom, what'd you think of the first?
I thought Minnesota really played well. They moved the puck well. They're skating. They were accurate. You look at the shots on net. 22-9 is the final after that first period, after they had a review of some of the plays out there. But good pair by Minnesota, but they need more than one goal on 22 shots. But they're right there right now. Now the biggest concern is killing off the shorthand situation they're in.
For some context, Saturday in Calgary, the Wild had 23 shots all the way through overtime. 22 in the opening 20 here tonight at home. Wild from left to right on your radio dial. Jets from right to left. Winnipeg in business here with Kyle Connor. Drop pass stolen. Trenyon out-muscles a man. Banks it into open ice. Eriksson the pressure against DeMello. Excuse me, that was Iafallo. And the Jets now have it with Ehlers. Nikolai Ehlers weaves it along Kyle Connor. Taps it in the corner. Ehlers back on it. This pass stolen by Brodin. Nudge free for Bogosian. Who outlets. Trenyon had a chance to clear, and he didn't. But he did.
Yeah, they're saying went over that boy.
The Jets bench not happy about it.
No, they're not happy. Neither is Trenton because he had lots of time to get the puck all the way down the ice, but he elected to go a little bit higher, and as a result of that, almost created a problem for Minnesota. But the whistle goes on the offside call. The face-off comes outside the defensive zone of the Wild, right in front of the penalty box area.
Boudreau and Nemestikov on the face-off. Vladislav Nemestikov. 6 goals on the season already. Had 11 last year. He's turned 32 years of age. Now been with 7 NHL teams, including his time here in Winnipeg. 20 seconds left on the Jets' power play. The Wild win the face-off. They float one down, and Hellebuck just has to salt it away.
Yeah, it was bouncing there, too. And I was watching Foligno. He's coming right in the mix there and he's talking to the goalie right now at the same time. No damage being done. But that was a good play. And Minnesota, once again, getting bodies to that net area.
What do you think Fleury was thinking watching that bouncer go in on Hellebuck? Please let it go in. Please let it. Yeah. He needs somebody to join the blooper reel with him after last Thursday in Edmonton. Boudreau, Foligno, Brodin, and Bogosian. Dying seconds of the penalty kill for Minnesota. Perfetti on that 2-year bridge contract in September. Launches it in. Brodin does well to buy some time behind his own net, then smacks it ahead. Out of the box is Johansson serving that extra penalty. Here's Foligno rumbling it right side. Took a shot. Hellebuck to save. Rebound behind the Jets net. Stabbed at by Johansson. But Niederreiter's there to rescue it and feed Pionk. Neil Pionk off the right wing boards for Nino Niederreiter, who cruises it ahead. It tips, so no icing. Niederreiter, of course, decent stint in Minnesota, 6 seasons, more than 200 points. Mason Appleton off the rush with a shot blocked to the corner by Faber. Puck finds Appleton again behind the net of Philip Gustafson. Appleton to push it back to the point. Morrissey hands it along to Mello into the high slot for Appleton. Shooting one, muted by Faber, who was able to just clear out the center. Morrissey on a regroup to Morgan Barron, the former Ranger, part of that Andrew Kopp trade a couple years back. He deals it into the Wild zone. Minnesota goes D to D. Now on the right wing side, Foligno. Knocked it up, not out. Taken away by Lowry. Smacked down low Morrissey. Tried to center. Good stick by Faber. Broke up that play. Jets stay in business with Lowry. He's got DeMello with a lane. Took a shot. Gustafson found it with his left hand with a lot of traffic in front. Wild running around a bit here.
Yeah, they're right now. Good shot by DeMello coming from that point position also.
Morrissey hands it off. Lowry tries to dart in. He'll spin out of the right wing corner. Adam Lowry from low to high. DeMello across to Morrissey. Dumped in front of his own net with Spurgeon. He gets back up, battles against Barron. Does the Wild captain as the puck finds Faber off the boards left side and safely ahead. This knuckling, rolling puck, they wave off ice. Hellebuck leaves it on a tee. Wild finally able to get a change. A 1-1 game, early stages, period 2. Joe O'Donnell, Tom Reed with Wild leave tomorrow for Buffalo. A standalone road game against the Sabres on Wednesday. And they come back home for a few. And that will finally feel like a homestand, I think, Tom Reed.
This feels like a homestand. We got one here at home. Then we're gone again, and Kevin loves it.
Jets center. Boldy intercepts. Fights his way ahead. Knuckles it off the left wing, boards it in. Kaprizov pressures Pionk. Pionk lost it. Kaprizov, though, couldn't find it. Bogosian pinches down along the boards. He ran into the linesman. It was kind of in his way, but the Jets unable to break it out cleanly, so they'll try the right wing boards, where Pionk headmans. A long tip in is steered away by Gustafson. Winnipeg barreling off on a change. And Zach Bogosian sits behind his own net for a moment and then labels it along to Jonas Brodin. Brodin with a left wing feed. Grabbing it was Ben Jones. Colin Miller now for the Jets defense. Around his end wall. Cole Perfetti hounded by Jones on the backside pressure. Try to push it in. Spurgeon cut it off. And he'll find Matt Boldy. Boldy pops it up ice. Jakub Lauko with a left wing feed. Chisholm, the defenseman, leads the rush. Carries around behind the net of Hellebuck. Set up Spurgeon for a drive. He fanned on it. Nemestikov gobbles it up, carries the Jets ahead, and spikes it in. Chisholm, the smooth skating blue liner back. Shore with a pass turned over. Ehlers, so whipped on his shot in the slot. Now the Jets knock it towards the low slot area, but the Wild come up with it. Kevin Short, center ice. Lost his footing. Bumps it into the offensive zone. It's a Wild change. A little scrambly here.
Yeah, it certainly is. Even the referee fell down.
Who does he have to blame for his skate sharpening? Rossi, in front of the Jets bench, bounces one ahead. Good pass, a 3-on-2 for the Wild. Hartman, charging in left side with a wrister stop. Favor the rebound, jabbed around a couple of times, and Hellebuck answer those questions in tight. Rasmus Kupari the other way for Winnipeg. He'll walk his way in, a long shot. Gustafson knocked it off his end glass with his goal stick. Loose puck behind the cage. Iafallo has the Jets tally, looking to slug one in front. Brodin takes over for Minnesota, bounces it out to center. Another rush for the Wild with numbers. It's Hartman again, dropping it back. Faber, a wrister blocked. Hayden Fleury got in the lane. Faber to his own rebound. Left wing corner. Fleury a bit dinged from that shot block. Johansson goes cross ice, but Hartman couldn't come up with it cleanly. Bogosian kept in momentarily. Now Nemestikov to speed it along Hayden Fleury. Goes back through center ice to Vladislav Nemestikov. Who swats it into the Wild zone. Boldy deep in his own end, reverses. Faber got a piece of it. Kaprizov there for Minnesota. He'll possess it momentarily. Slipping it along to Bogosian. Left wing bank pass up ice for Eriksson. Hog-tied by Colin Miller, and Adam Lowry has it. He'll spring it ahead with a step charging in right side. A toe drag move by Velarde. A shot fought off by Gustafson.
Good shot by Velarde. Better save by the goaltender.
Spurgeon now for Minnesota. A rare odd man rush for the Jets in this hockey game. Colin Miller now patrols the blue line. Left wing side. Heinola. Slowed down by Boldy. Boldy chiseled it up, not out. Boldy then knocked down the dump down by Miller. And it'll outlet onto the tape of Kaprizov, who feathers it left wing side. Eriksson try to skip it in front. Bouncing puck ended up on the corner. Heinola around the wall. Brodin pinched in, snatched it down low. Kaprizov, first man to it. Trickled it free on a cycle attempt looking for Eriksson, but Colin Miller cut it off. And he'll sky it back the other way. A lot of steam behind it, and they wave off ice.
Are you kidding me?
So Brodin back to handle it. He'll go rink wide to Spurgeon. Spurgeon fires it along. Grabbed beautifully by Trenyon and knocked deep into the Jets zone. DeMello rims it around. Appleton trying to chuck it out. Chisholm bats it away and throws it back into the Jets zone. Dylan DeMello rips it around the left wing boards. Niederreiter found Kupari. Rasmus Kupari, a right wing feed, a long shot by Appleton, answered by Gustafson with his blocker, and the rebound cleared safely through center by Minnesota's Gaudreau.
Yeah, good play by Gaudreau. Also just kind of flip the puck in the fire zone. That allows Minnesota to get set up again defensively.
A little bit more than 7 minutes gone by in the second as the Jets from the neutral ice area deflect one in, but it leaves the playing surface. And a timeout. 12:55 left in the second period. When we come back to St. Paul, the penalties to Scheifele and Middleton are over. They were just waiting for a whistle. They'll now rejoin their teams. It's 1-1. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
It's a Thanksgiving tradition, the NFL on Sirius XM. And it all begins Thursday at 12:30 Eastern with the Bears and Lions.
70 yards from Jared Goff.
Followed by the Giants and Cowboys, then the Packers and Dolphins.
Fires, touchdown, Miami.
Hear the action on NFL Radio Channel 88 and the hometown announcers on your radios and the Sirius XM app.
Spread the word. Anyone can enjoy Sirius XM in the car during our Listen Free event, happening now through December 2nd.
24/7 Hockey Talk.
To understand that you are allowed to legally still check the head, not just the head. The head by itself is a penalty. If you wanted to change it, that would be like in the IIHF. That's probably a penalty at the Olympics. That's probably at the World Juniors. That guy's gone and suspended. I ask you, do you want that?
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Brian Burke.
I didn't like Nashville. I don't like the composition. Told you they had too many violins and not enough cellos. So to me, the anticipation was out of line, misplaced. So how do you fix it? I think you got to get back to the very basics. Change the way you play. Change your style of play. It's the only thing you can do. You can't change the personnel much.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
28-13 in favor of Minnesota, but it's a 1-1 game here at this point. Well, Tom Reed's hotline returns tonight after the second period, and now it's even easier to get involved. Simply text in your comment or question to 64686. That's 64686. And tonight, we're giving away a pair of tickets to Black Friday's home against the Chicago Blackhawks.
Jets coming off a loss Saturday in Nashville. Wild, a 3-game road trip, 5-0 possible, 6 points, 9-1-3 on the road this year for Minnesota, the most wins in the NHL. Jets have 8 on the road, by the way, as Kaprizov centers. It ricochets around in front. Jets punch it away from trouble. Faber gallops to it and spins it behind the net. Left wing corner offensive zone, Boldy. Rimmed it back around Kaprizov. Slowed it down with his skates and absorbed a cross check. And there's the penalty call.
Should be.
Faber.
Good. Finally, they're calling those things.
Hammers one towards the vicinity of Boldy. Pionks there. But Kaprizov, with some good board play, draws a power play.
Penalty cross-checking.
And that is the right call. And they go after Kaprizov all the time with those cross-checks. But Minnesota now will get an opportunity with the man advantage.
Tom, if you had trouble in your day knocking a forward off the puck, what was your play then thereafter? Because it feels like these guys have to cross-check Kaprizov. It's the only way to get him off the puck.
Well, yeah. We usually just grab onto him. So.
Jets clear out the center off the faceoff. So the Wild reset, Faber. Transitions ahead, Boldy takes his pass, swings it back, Kaprizov, darting through the neutral zone, Kirill Kaprizov, and this plays offside.
Yeah, that penalty goes against Fleury, not Minnesota's Fleury. This is the Fleury, of course, who plays for the Winnipeg Jets. An offside call is made. This is Minnesota trying to set up here right now, see if they can make something happen. Their last 4 games, though, Minnesota has only had 1 power play goal in the 8 opportunities they've had, so that has to get better.
The ebbs and flow of the special teams over a long season. Kupari and Eric Sinek on the draw. Eric Sinek thrown from the circle. Rossi in to take it. Marco Rossi, a goal and an assist Saturday in Calgary, including the late equalizer. With under a minute left and the extra attacker on the ice for the Wild.
Yeah, and the one thing that John Hines talks about him, he wants to see the compete factor. And when he's competing, he's playing his best hockey. But he's got to move his skates.
Rossi here feeds Boldy. He's got a lane. Down low, Kaprizov threw one in front. Goal stick of Hellebuck ready for it. Boldy. Up top, Rossi. Bottom of the right circle, Kaprizov. Centers. It goes across the grain. Grabbing it off the left wing boards is Boldy. Outside the left circle, Rossi into the left wing corner, Boldy. Survey snapped it. Kaprizov, a shot. What a save by Hellebuck. Rebound. Kaprizov got it back to the blue paint. Whacking away Eric Sinek. And Hellebuck's on top of it. And more rough stuff involving Jules Eric Sinek in front. He's got 2 Jets wrapping him up again, including one headlocking him.
After the whistle, the guy came into the area and took a swing at Eric Sinek. Now, is that a penalty? They did the same thing with Middleton. They called him because of the first one. Doesn't appear they're going to be one here, though. Oh, we got 11:32 to go here in period number 2. Still 1-1 game. Shots 31-13 in favor of the home team. We'll test your Wild knowledge on Tuesday, December the 3rd, with a pregame trivia in the Mick Golden Light Tap House. Question number 1, do you have your game ticket already? If not, get it. Get your tickets today at wild.com/hockey-tickets.
Looking at a chunk of ice in the goal crease of Hellebuck, who appears okay with whatever divot there might have been. He gets a drink of water. And a draw to the left of Connor Hellebuck, who's won 2 in a row, 4 of 5. 2-time Vezina Trophy winner. Jets pull the face-off back. Colin Miller lifts one around and all the way down. The Wild will get a change. So they were giving that top unit just a couple more seconds, but they couldn't come up with the face-off. Brock Faber retrieves the puck. He's the last man to change here as he drops it back. Goudreau hits the red line. Springs it at Johansson. Tapped off left side Spurgeon. Wild captain Jared Spurgeon baits some pressure his way. Angled it along Johansson. Chiseled it free. Hartman absorbed a hit from Morgan Barron. Keeping it at the right point. Chisholm across the blue line with a shot. Glove save. Hellebuck.
Good shot by Chisholm once again. Very mobile back in that point position also, Joe. He's done a nice job of securing a spot with Minnesota in the roster this year, but does a good job of just taking that puck, getting the shot through to the front of the net. No rebound with Hellebuck, who's had another strong game. He has stopped 31 out of 32 shots, showing in the big board right now.
Goudreau, 12 points his last 12 games coming in. In the slot, Hartman banned on a bid as he was knocked down. Spurgeon keeps in Johansson. Off to Freddie Gaudreau from the goal line right side. Below the goal line, Johansson taps to the point. Chisholm quickly rolled the way of Gaudreau. Gaudreau to the goal line. Johansson centered. Hartman fired a knuckling puck. Hellebuck fought it off, and the rebound muscled down by Lowry.
Archie's got to be talking to himself right now. He's had a couple of golden opportunities here. We just can't find the opening yet.
Wild here trying to stretch it ahead for Johansson. Power play about to expire. Johansson taken to the corner by Pionk. Pionk dove to poke it out. He couldn't. Kept in by Chisholm, who escapes the pressure of Kyle Connor. Chisholm left it back, but not enough steam on it. And the Jets start up a 3-on-2 if they hurry. Connor, middle of the ice. Right wing dish, Scheifele. Scheifele carrying in a backdoor feed, and Faber broke it up, but we have a penalty call. And now some rough stuff between Pionk and the Wild player Hartman. And now Kyle Connor, who was dropped and most likely drew that penalty moments ago, gets right in the mix. All this with 10-11 left in the second period.
Yeah, you look at these two teams also during the course of the year. Minnesota ranks 4th overall, just getting 6.7 minutes of penalty time. The other side, the Jets, 8.7. They're number 16. And here's the call.
Minnesota penalty number 38, 2-minor interference.
Well, Hartman gets that penalty. This coming at 9 minutes and 49 seconds of the second period.
Hartman was back checking. Or excuse me, he was one of the players back. Two Wild players, Johansson and Gaudreau, were back checking. Hartman kind of took away the ice from Connor, and as the two collided, the arm up from the official. So Jets power play 0 for 1 in the game. Go to work here. They were 1 for 2 on October the 13th. The one goal, as Tom said, the overtime winner from Kyle Connor, which won it for Winnipeg 2-1. The third game of the year. Contest in which the Wild were outshot 35-27. Minnesota already with 33 shots here tonight. And we're halfway home. Off the one face-off, the Jets have it. They work it down low. A backdoor pass by Ehlers. Hit the goal stick of Gustafson, just leaked wide. Kyle Connor now swings it up top to Morrissey. Left circle, Scheifele. Mark Scheifele. Down below the goal line it comes. Ehlers to Connor. Now Morrissey. Back to Connor. Fakes a one-timer. Left side Scheifele. Up top Morrissey. Right side Connor. Fans on his one-timer, but it comes right to Ehlers. They have Velarde camped out in front through the Jets. They center that way, and Gustafson fought it off. His mask came off, but a beautiful stop by Gustafson, finding that one-timer from Velarde.
Absolutely. He is so square to the puck in this game, but once again, so focused. Every game he has played this year, Joe, no question about it. He's been certainly the strength of Minnesota between the pipes.
So a draw coming to the right of Gustafson, who takes a look at his mask, which is now on top of his net. That's one of the referees leans in as well. Yeah,
still a minute and 29 seconds remaining in the interference call against Hartman. Face-off will be deep in the Minnesota zone, it looks like. The officials are discussing everything. They're going to move the face-off to the left of Gustafson. You talk about the face-offs all the time, Joe. How important they are in this, especially in your own defensive zone.
Now a delay here as John Hines wants to talk with referee Chris Rooney. Halfway home in regulation. Jets win the faceoff. Morrissey's pass block. Trenyon wins the battle and slaps it down the ice.
I like the Trenyon. He's not going to get a lot of points, but defensively has done a good job. He's a big body out there.
Trenyon, 10 Stanley Cup playoff games with the Avs last year after he was sent by Nashville to Colorado at the deadline. Wild signed him July 1st, of course. Ehlers now for the Jets. Carries in, fell down, loose puck, jabbing at it Bogosian. Ehlers from his knees worked it up top Morrissey. To the right side now Connor. Back to Morrissey. Swung along and Kyle Connor shakes with the puck, fired one, it was blocked. Good stick by Brodin, tapping it away from immediate trouble. Ehlers then again losing his footing. Scheifele back to the cage. Over to Connor, left circle. Watched by Lauko. Power play at 40 seconds. Connor a wrister, missed wide, and it'll kick off the boards and skitter down the ice.
In trouble, get it out of the zone. And Minnesota able to get 4 fresh penalty killers back on the ice.
Half minute left on the penalty to Hart. Josh Morrissey leads the Jets ahead. A left wing pass for for Cole Perfetti. Perfetti, the Ontario native. Off to Niederreiter. Swept it down low. Perfetti chunks it around the wall. Left point Iafallo. Hurried it to Pionk. He'll just blast it down low. Into the corner over the right shoulder of Gustafsson. Two teams battle for it. Faber blocked the pass behind his own net. And then made a beautiful feed to Trenton. And out come the Wild. Eriksson over the blue line. He's got a man cutting in front. Middleton. Vandal his shot. Got it back. And Hellebuck made a left pass save. And look out. Jets looking to counter. But Hartman's out of the box. Goes a 3-on-3. Perfetti to Nemestikov. He'll curl back, looking for the late help of Pionk. He finds him. Pionk down low. Niederreiter to his backhand, and he scores. Nino Niederreiter. And Winnipeg has a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, I tell you, you make the most of those opportunities. And Niederreiter, once again, of course, the former Wild player, gives his team the lead right now. He's been a terrific player in the National Hockey League. Over 900 games he has played now, but make no mistake, he takes that, he comes in. There's a real battle in the Minnesota zone. Everyone battling here, and all of a sudden Niederreiter is able to take advantage of it. Pionk makes a nice play over to him. He goes to the backhand and goes high in the top shelf over the glove, and it's a 2-1 lead for the Winnipeg Jets. They've had 16 shots, Minnesota 35, but Minnesota trails by 1.
While the Wild were dealing with Iafallo, Eriksson and Trenton were somewhat concerned about Iafallo as the play was coming back the other way. That allowed Pionk to eventually join the rush. And the Jets then had numbers. A steal here by Shore. Drew one in front. Ben Jones, a couple of whacks at it. Hellebuck had the answer.
Number 62, Nino Niederreiter, assisted by number 4, Neil Pionk, and number 7, Vladislav Nemesnikov. Time of the goal, 12:05.
Here's Lauko for Minnesota charging in right side. Scooped it to the slot just out of the reach of Devin Shore. Shore hustles to it. Cycles it off for Ben Jones. Jones speeds one of the right point Spurgeon. D to D. Chisholm. And the pop-out play for Shore. Shore a long shot that he sent wide intentionally. Hellebuck nudges it away from trouble. One thing John Hines told us about the offensive zone, Tom, was that the Wild need to work some plays up high. Get a third forward or a forward up near the blue line sometimes. Get away from all that mess near the Jets net because they can pack it in and defend really well.
Yeah, they certainly can, especially in their own defensive zone. They know exactly where to go, and Minnesota's got to find a way to counter that.
Some of those soft areas in the offensive zone. Jets clear up. Faber holds in, labeled it down low. It ricocheted around. It's grabbed by Colin Miller, former Dallas Star and Vegas Golden Knight. Headman. Velarde slowed down as he was bumped by Middleton. Faber pounds it off the boards. Middleton's got it. Middle of the ice pass and a good one. Rossi curls it off Johansson. Drops it back. Middleton outside the left circle. Shooting one. That hit Rossi. Careens around. Faber keeps in. That was not a hand pass, but it's called a hand pass. And I mean that.
Is that a block or a hand pass?
I mean, for once, the 18,000 officials might have been spot on. And they're paying customers. 6:17 to go in the second. Timeout on the ice. Jets have pulled in front of the Wild. It's 2-1 Winnipeg. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Getting the care you need when you need it should be simple. At Health Partners in Park Nicollet, our clinics, hospitals, and specialties are all connected to give you a streamlined experience. That's because our system-wide health record ensures everyone on your care team is on the same page. And every day we're offering more ways to make it easier to get great care. Like virtual visits, hybrid preventive care, online scheduling, mobile check-in, Save My Spot for urgent care, and more. Visit healthpartners.com/wild today.
It's Black Friday build-up at Lowe's. Get a head start on Black Friday all month long with exclusive deals. Right now, get 25% off select pre-lit artificial Christmas trees just in time for the holidays. And get a free select tool when you buy a select battery or combo kit. So don't wait to save. Shop these deals in-store or online now because Lowe's knows deals. Valid 11/21 through 11/27. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Scoreboard update. It's beat down in Tampa. The Lightning lead the Avalanche 8-2. Still 7 minutes left to go in regulation. Jake Gensel with a pair of goals. He's up to 9 on the year. Kucherov with his 12th. And those are amongst the goal scorers tonight in Tampa. The Devils lead the Predators 4-2 in New Jersey. 7:43 left to go in that one. Golden Knights and Flyers 9 got it at 4 goals apiece with 6 minutes left to go in that one. Blues with a 4-2 lead over the Rangers in New York. 2:55 left to go in that one. Of course, this is game number 1 for Jim Montgomery behind their bench. Back to Joe and Tom.
Yeah, 11 games tonight in the National Hockey League, and 6 of the 8 teams in the Central Division are getting some experience on the ice tonight. Right now, the faceoff is going to be outside the defensive zone of the Winnipeg Jets.
So the Wild down a goal, and they got to keep their head here, Tom Reed. Could be a little frustrated right now, out shooting Winnipeg 37-16, and John Hines has talked about it all season long. The way the mindset of the team needs to be, frustrated, winning, losing, tied, close game, bad calls, whatever the adversity is, they've got to keep playing the same way.
Yep, that's exactly right, and I think Minnesota's done that for the most part this year, and that's been evident just by what they've been able to accomplish. But it's frustrating, too, when you have such a strong lead in the shots department, but you can't find the opening.
Jets are on a 6-game road trip. They play at the Kings next. 5:40 to go in the second period. They've gotten the last 2, and they have a 2-1 lead over the Wild. Middleton opened the scoring 8:37 in the first. Jets tied it about 90 seconds later. Maya followed, and then Niederreiter just moments ago to make it 2-1 Winnipeg. Boldy off the rush, fires one in front. Hellebuck carefully deflected that away. And the on-charging help as the Wild were driving in front of the net there. Boldy into the right wing corner. Kaprizov swooped it in front. Goudreau looking for it. Never got to him. Ehlers flexes it along. Morrissey goes right back that way. Nikolai Ehlers over the blue line, hands it to Nemesnikov. All the way down low, threw it in front. Boldy had some trouble with it. Ehlers gave it a whack. Kick save with the right pad by Gustafsson. Pionk labels it behind the net. Chisholm there to swerve it around. Deflects past Pionk. Kaprizov lifts a man's stick. Good poise and patience to then find Goudreau, who drops it into the Jet zone and buzzes it on the forecheck against Hayden Fleury. Who got it to Pionk, but he fanned on it. Goudreau hoping for Foligno. It slashed past his reach. Scheifele starts the Jets ahead. Mark Scheifele flutters it in. Scheifele 60 points or more in 8 straight seasons for the Jets. Boy, he's been consistent. Trenyon now for the Wild. Fights his way through center ice. Lobbed it along Middleton. Chisels it towards the slot. Picking it off there, Hainala. He's hammered by Marcus Foligno on the forecheck. Colin Miller swerves back. Foligno trying to hunt him down. Miller stops. Uses the back of the net as a screen. And then darts out left side before cutting a pass up ice where it's flopped in by Velarde. Faber with a feed through his own slot. Taken away to Mello. Try to angle it down low. Nothing there. Faber reaches out for it. Flips it ahead. The Wild have numbers if they hurry. Johansson bursting in right side. Marcus Johansson slowed down. Rips it a shot. Jabbing away Rossi. And Hellebuck strong there with his left pad. Gets it for a whistle. And we've got some more rough stuff. Well, Tom, on the road trip, you kind of alluded to the fact the game's not played the same way. You don't see much stuff after the whistle anymore. Tonight, we've had plenty of that.
Yeah, we certainly have. It's been kind of fun watching it from my vantage point. I'd rather be up here than down there.
3:49 to go in the second. Another scrum after the whistle. The Wild trail the Jets 2-1 here at home. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Hey, Wild fans, you want your family to be warm and comfortable during our Minnesota winters, right? That's why it's good to know the knowledgeable and friendly dealers at Bryant Heating and Cooling who will do whatever it takes to keep your heating system running safely and efficiently, no matter what the weather throws at you. Plus, score up to $2,600 in tax credits on qualifying Bryant systems and ask about rebates and financing for qualified buyers. Find your local dealer at Bryant.com. Bryant, official heating and cooling company of the Minnesota Wild.
At the Home Depot, we know the world is a messy place. Keeping it clean takes science. That's why businesses everywhere have long trusted cleaning products from Ecolab to take on the toughest messes. And now, that level of clean is available for your home. Introducing Ecolab Scientific Clean, a full line of professional-grade cleaning products for all your home's needs, so you can clean like you mean business. Now available exclusively at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
As the official partner of the Minnesota Wild, Enterprise is ready to go that extra mile. We're dedicated to the most dedicated fans in the game. And with us on your team, you can move forward with confidence, knowing we've got your back. We're always available with mobility solutions, whether you need a rental, replacement, truck, or even tailored business strategies. At Enterprise, because your goal is our goal, and we're ready with the assist. Now 3:49 to go here in period number 2, and the Jets have taken the lead in this contest 2-1. Minnesota's outshot them more than double. Minnesota 39 shots, 17 shots off the sticks of the Winnipeg Jets. Right now, the ice attendants are clearing the ice. The doors are closing down. Face-off deep in the Winnipeg zone to the left of Connor Hellebuck, who's been terrific once again in this game.
Hartman and Lowry on the face-off. Lowry nudged it free. Pionk taps off. Tatum Fleury wheels it around. The Jets clear out the center as Appleton finds Lowry. He'll scoop in. Gustafson punches it to his right. Spurgeon back to gather. Just rips it ahead. And icing here on Minnesota, the call with 3:33 to go in period 2.
Yeah, even John Hines talked this morning about the Lowry line where they get the puck, they come in, they just dump it in the corner, then they go after it, try to force turnovers and see what they can do to make it happen for their team. Of course, when you look at a guy like Lowry, the captain of this hockey club, plus 15 on the year. So offensively, they're able to get some points. Defensively, very, very good.
Off the face-off, Morrissey loads, fires, blocked by Rossi. Stung him a bit, centering pass knocked away by the goal stick of Gustafson. A side angle shot then by Perfetti deflects wide, and the Wild clear out the center. Where Hartman hustling to it, dump to Mello. The Jets spring it ahead. Look out, Ehlers. Brodin trying to catch him. Ehlers starting in, trying to cut in front. Gustafson made the save, and he's able to hang on.
Well, Ehlers was really being back-checked from the back end. Also, you could see that Brodin trying to get there, trying to get that stick in the way of the bat, but Ehlers does a nice job of just coming in from that far side. Tries to go to the forehand, but Gus would not allow that pads to be open and stops it with both his pads, grabs onto it, and that'll keep the face-off to his right. With 3:10 to go here in the second, Winnipeg 2-1.
Ehlers coming off a 25-goal campaign. He was the 9th overall pick in 2014. Look out, Wild with some trouble with it. They give one away. Connor tried to center. It's ricocheted around in front. As the Jets here buzzing the last couple of shifts. Behind his own net, Faber. Pressured immediately by Scheifele. Faber stashed it along. Connor knocked it down and found Scheifele. Mark Scheifele on his backhand coming out of the right wing corner. Turns to his forehand. Sorted to the point to Mello. Now Morrissey a drive. Gustafson knocked it down, but a big rebound. Wild chunk it away from trouble. Bold. He can't get it out. Morrissey sweeps it deeper into the Wild zone. Middleton leaned on. Fought it free. Eriksson to Boldy. His pass. Faber trying to find it. He can't. Gabriel Velarde for the Jets. Right circle. A shot that caught the glass and will ricochet out the center.
Well, last shift by Minnesota is not a good shift. Obviously, giving the puck away in their own defensive zone and having problems just controlling things.
Morrissey peels to his left and finds Fleury. Knock into the Wild zone. Gustafson out to help his D. Faber rattles it around for Boldy. Matt Boldy cruising on his backhand over to Middleton, who has the Wild goal. Gain the red line and shoot it in. 2 minutes on the clock in the second period. Wild down a goal. Sitting with 39 shots. Fleury fires it ahead. It got away from Iafallo. Bogosian angles it the other direction, but this is ice.
And that will bring the face-off back deep to the Minnesota zone. Will help us honor those who protect the state of hockey. Join the Minnesota Wild on December the 3rd for Law Enforcement Appreciation Night presented by Evolve. This special package includes an exclusive T-shirt and a donation supporting the law enforcement community. Secure yours today at wild.com/pack.
Mestikov and Jones on the draw. With the help of Bogosian, the Wild pull it back. Left wing corner in his own end, Declan Chisholm. Chisholm rifles one ahead. This is going to be ice. Playing with fire with all these defensive zone draws.
Yeah, you certainly are. Minnesota's done a pretty good job, though, in the draws so far this hockey game. They have won 55% of the draws. Led by Joel Eriksson. He's won 9 out of 15.
Jets on the season, 49.4% in the circle. The Wild, 48.6%. Both teams in the bottom half of the league. Mestikov and Jones on it again to the right of Gustafson. They tie up. Jones did well to tie up Mestikov, but then in to grab it was Ehlers. His shot tipped wide in the Wild again, cleared through center. Final 90 seconds of the frame. Pionk blindly rips it to the left wing side. Mestikov cuts away from the pressure of Ben Jones. And Josh Morrissey, who scooped it ahead, turned over, Chisholm. Zone left circle, springs it ahead, Lauco over the blue line, a little 3-on-2 for the Wild. Lauco through the high slot, his wrister blocked by Morrissey. Ehlers swatted at it, fanned on it. Marcus Foligno for the Wild to drill it around the boards, but Morrissey able to pick that off and skate the Jets safely ahead.
Final minute of play.
The right wing boards for Ehlers, who sends it in, got to some of this goal step. The Chisholm banks it out through center. Foligno had his pass blocked, stays with it, firing it along for Gaudreau to tip in. 45 seconds to go in the period. Colin Miller behind his own net for Winnipeg. Miller, the 32-year-old, launches it ahead. It tips in. Spurgeon. And it was left wing corner Brodin. Then to Kaprizov. Another giveaway by the Wild. Heinola, right side with a shot. It tipped just wide. 30 to go in the period. Sent around the Wild net. Foligno at the end of a long shift. Hurries it ahead. Kaprizov had it. And the Jets are offside as it was played back into Minnesota ice, and Winnipeg touched up next.
Yeah, Joe, you can just sense some of the mistakes Minnesota's made in the second period compared to that first period. And as a result of that, they've allowed the Jets to really take the lead in this hockey game by 1 goal. But Minnesota's got to find a better way to come into that third period.
Neutral ice face-off here. Final 21.8 seconds in the period. I'm just wondering out loud that maybe the Jets changed something on their forecheck. They're giving the Wild some trouble now. Be interesting to see if they did change something, how the Wild kind of adjust in that cat and mouse game and try to exit more cleanly in the third. Appleton in the slot, stabbed away by Spurgeon, not cleared. Fleury to the right side, a wrister knocked down in front. Boldy to the rebound. Final seconds of the period. Kaprizov out through center ice, fighting past some trouble. Kaprizov sent it to the slot. Eriksson running out of time. Boldy battling out of midair. The Twins would have been proud of that one, but he missed high and wide. It catches the glass.
That was ever eating the strike zone there. No problem with that one. Got a piece of it. Unfortunately, it was wide of the net.
So we're through 40. Boy, this place would have exploded had the Wild converted there in the dying seconds of period 2. But for now, the Jets in front by 1 after 2 spirited frames here in St. Paul. Tom Reed's hotline and a recap of all the action comes your way after this. Kevin Fallness takes it from here. The Wild trail the Jets 2-1 after 2. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Sports Grid Radio on Sirius XM has you covered this NFL season.
A Thanksgiving tripleheader in the Sports Grid Network will have you covered with in-game live action. Chicago versus Detroit, New York versus Dallas, Miami versus Green Bay. 3 games, a big Thanksgiving Day feast. Make sure you tune in to Sports Grid Radio to stay up to date on all the latest.
The place to get the winning edge over the sports books this football season is Sports Grid Radio, channel 159 in the car and on the Sirius XM app. The biggest plays.
What a save!
Hits.
Oh, hard hit.
Goals.
McDavid scores!
Tune to NHL Network Radio for the most in-depth hockey talk on the planet.
He is the GM of the Minnesota Wild.
Insiders.
The revenues and the big business.
And the best analysis on the air. The NHL on Sirius XM. Hear every team and your hometown call. NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on demand with the Sirius XM app. 24/7 hockey talk.
To understand that you are allowed to legally still check the head, not just the head. The head by itself is a penalty. If you wanted to change it, that would be like in the IIHF. That's probably a penalty at the Olympics. That's probably at the World Juniors. That guy's gone and suspended. I ask you, do you want that?
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
The only 2 players in the history of the National Hockey League to have 600 goals, 1,600 points, 3 Stanley Cups, and 2 Conn Smythes. Wayne and Sid. Just like it absolutely blows your mind how good Sidney Crosby is and how much we take him for granted.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. NHL Morning Skate.
Logan Thompson with the Washington Capitals.
So talk about a team that kind of found their oats again.
Yeah, we've run a lot of young guys who, have a lot of talent, and we're just looking for fresh starts. And part of this dressing room and the leadership that was in this dressing room, they brought us in and we just gelled so natural. Guys are playing up to their caliber and proving everyone wrong, and it's really fun to see. And
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellar. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM.
Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL final.
That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City.
Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern.
And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
It's time for Tom Reed's Hotline. Text in your comments or questions to 64686. You can win fabulous prizes, including dinner at Tom Reed's Hockey City Pub or wild tickets to a future game. And now, Tom Reed's Hotline.
We're through two periods in St. Paul, and the Jets lead the Wild 2-1. Nino Niederreiter's ninth of the year gives the Jets the advantage, and that's where we sit after 40 minutes of play. Before we get to your questions here, the questions and comments you sent in at 64686. We go to Tom Reed here from the Al Shaver press box. Everything you could hope for, and then some, Tom, except for the goal-scoring department. Connor Hellebuck on fire through 40 minutes.
Yeah, he really has been, Kevin. No question about it. Look at Minnesota right now, 39 shots. He stopped 38 out of 39, so he's giving his team a chance to make something happen here. And I thought that as the second period went on, I thought Minnesota kind of floundered a little bit in the latter part of that period. They've got to find a way to pick it back up again, because this is a team that has done very well. I'm referring to the Winnipeg Jets leading after two, what's their record? 13-0-0. I mean, so Minnesota's got to find a way. Minnesota's been able to come back and pick up points, but they've gone 0-2-2 in those games when they trail after two.
See what happens? Maybe a little home cooking will be the answer tonight in St. Paul as we get ready for period number 3. Meanwhile, Tom Reed's Hotline, we'll start with this one from Travis. You got injuries right now to Hustendinov. Mats Zuccarello is out as well. How do you feel the Wild are set up to handle their depth concerns that they had last year compared to this year?
I think the depth's a little bit better this year. I think that Chisholm getting a full year with this hockey club now has really helped back in that blue line, too. He's very mobile back there, moves the puck well, doesn't get rattled. And you always have to worry, do you have enough depth? But I'm seeing some of the kids who have come up have played pretty well for Minnesota, so we hope that will continue. And you really have to build your squad, and I don't refer just to the big team, but also the American League team with some guys that can come up and make something good happen with this team also. So I think it's getting better than it has been over the last few years.
Question from the 651 area code. Tom, as a group, would you say the goalies, defense, or forwards are the biggest reason for success so far for the Wild this season? Which group is the biggest reason why the Wild are having success?
I think goaltending. And I look at both these teams, and I have to say goaltending on both. I mean, these two guys are tied with the goals against average at the top of the league. They're tied with a save percentage at the top of the league. I mean, they know exactly what they have to do, and they both have played very well, and they don't get rattled. Even when it gets a little bit more difficult out there, I think both these guys have really been able to compose themselves and not worry about it.
From the 952 area code, it says, and agrees with you, Philip Gustafson is on fire, and that person is loving it. But are they the only person that thinks that Marc-Andre Fleury should start more often? Because if something should happen to Philip Gustafson, Marc-Andre Fleury is going to be rusty and unprepared.
Well, I think they get enough work in the play and the practice time that he'll be fine. I mean, he's an old pro. I mean, look at his 21st year in the league. He knows exactly what he has to keep himself in good shape. And he's on the ice, one of the first guys on the ice at practice all the time, and one of the last guys to leave. But even in the warm-ups, you watch the pregame skate him. Even though he's not playing in some of the games, he's still on the ice. He's the guy making those final saves for everybody. But I think they're doing it right, and I would expect that certainly Gus will have quite a bit more games than obviously Fleury.
Yeah, especially if he keeps playing like this, and for good reason. Here's your favorite, one of your favorite topics, face-offs. And the Wild are doing actually very well tonight. They lead the Jets 56% to 44. And this question is, Tom, what are the Wild doing on the face-off dot this year compared to years last? Because it feels like they're actually having some success for a change.
Well, they are, and I think it has to go with the fact that they've been able to have that success, and as a result, that increases their ability to do some things, the confidence level they have. It depends who you're going against also. You have to remember who's on the other side. Those guys are trying to win the draw as well, but I think Minnesota's been much better at it this this year than they have in previous years. And Freddie Gaudreau has really elevated his game in the face-off circle from last year.
Nate in Roseville sees that former Wild forward El Nino has scored against the Minnesota Wild back in St. Paul. And wants to know, though, Nate says, who would you say has had the best post-Wild career after leaving Minnesota? As you think, I'll give you one thought in my mind. Hard to argue against Brent Burns.
Well, you're right. I mean, he's the third oldest guy in the NHL right now and still playing strong, and he's had a great career. But Nino has been absolutely terrific as well. You look at it, this is game number 909 for him. He's picked up 400, and with that goal tonight, gives him 458 points on the year. He's a plus 76. So defensively, he's done a good job in that regard as well. He was a great teammate for the guys when he was here. He's a fun guy to be around, and of course, he's still going strong and loves the game.
Another guy who might be up for consideration, Mikhail Granlund, on a floundering. I mean, he's had a couple of stops, and now he's there in San Jose, and I know that's a rebuild project. But, man, he's playing some great hockey. It's not going to show up on the score sheet very much, and you're not going to get much notoriety playing on a really bad team. But Granny's had a pretty good career since leaving Minnesota.
Yeah, but he's one of the top players on that team also, and he should be having a good year. And he's a great guy, and he does well on face-offs as well in that face-off circle. But he's been a guy that's been around for a long time, and he knows what it takes to win. Unfortunately, he's with a team right now that is going to have trouble winning.
From the 612 area code, it says, from Aaron listening in Hastings. Tom, a bigger surprise this season, the Winnipeg Jets or your Minnesota Wild?
I think the Jets and the way they get off to it. I mean, Minnesota's right up there with them. They've had a great start. But you look at the Jets, I mean, they just, right from the drop of the puck, they knew exactly what they had to do. And they're one of those teams, if you look at their first 16 games this year, they went 15-1-0, and they had scored 49 more goals than they had given up. So they had great confidence, but I think they're coming back to earth again. I think you'll see them start to have a few more L's on their side.
We'll see what happens. One more, Nino Niederreiter again scored tonight from Scott in St. Paul. Scores against his former team, and he's got some former teammates on the squad still. Did you ever go up against a former teammate that put it in your ear, hit you hard, scored a goal against you, anything like that you can recall?
No, but I mean, you played hard against your former teammate, regardless of who it was. Whether you played one game with them or 50 games with them, you wanted to beat them every time. But yeah, you have that little chip on your shoulder when it comes to playing against your former teammate, and you're mad that they got rid of you, perhaps, and that's why.
And someone texted in Charlie Coyle. He too has had a very good career since leaving Minnesota. What a perfect spot for him. Not only a Boston kid in a hometown role, but actually playing some very good hockey on a decent club.
Yeah, he's really elevated. Remember, he was in that third or fourth line also. He's elevated himself. He's in the top line, so hopefully that will continue for him. He's a great kid, and hopefully when they play against Boston, that Minnesota wins both those games.
Meanwhile, what do you expect here in the third period? Wild are down 2-1. They need to get at least a 1 or 2 on the board here. They put almost 40 shots on net on Hellebuck. What's the answer in the third period?
Score some goals. I mean, that's what they have to do, but I'm sure they're in the locker right now. I'm sure the coaches have talked to them. They probably walked out of the room. The guys, it's on you now. What are you going to do?
Sounds good. Thomas, thank you.
Thank you.
That is Tom Reed with Tom Reed's Hotline. Best question, I'll reach out to you here via text. You've got a pair of tickets for Black Friday in St. Paul. Wild and Blackhawks at XL Energy Center. It's a 1 o'clock puck drop, and don't forget, if you're listening in the Twin Cities, you can catch that play-by-play action on Christmas. Cool 108, that's 107.9 FM in the Twin Cities metro area. You can catch the third period coming up here in a matter of moments, but we'll recap the first 40 minutes next. This is Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.
Give back this holiday season and join the fight against hunger with SiriusXM and Why Hunger's annual donation drive. Bid on items signed by Dave Matthews Band, LL Cool J, Pearl Jam, and many more. Meet country superstar Carrie Underwood at her Reflection residency at Resorts World Las Vegas. Or simply donate. Go to SiriusXM.com/Hungerthon now.
The biggest plays.
What a save!
Hits.
Oh, hard hit.
Goals.
McDavid scores!
Tune to NHL Network Radio for the most in-depth hockey talk on the planet.
He is the GM of the Minnesota Wild.
Insiders,
The revenues and the big business.
and the best analysis on the air. The NHL on Sirius XM. Hear every team and your hometown call. NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on demand with the Sirius XM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to Sirius XM.
Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of Sirius XM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL final.
That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City.
Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern.
And it's on Sirius XM FC channel 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Ward Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favourite Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
Middleton breaks the scoreless tie way back in the first period with his fourth of the year from Johansson in favor, but the next two go to the Jets. Iafallo midway through the first ties the game at a goal apiece. Then former Wild forward Nino Niederreiter scores his ninth of the year. Jets lead the Wild 2-1 despite 39 shots on goal by Minnesota through 40 minutes. 38 saves thus far for Connor Hellebuck. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.
Lives here.
Sagan to Ben, down low, delays, he scores!
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Both teams 0 for 2 on the power play. Told you 38 saves thus far for Connor Hellebuck. Philip Gustafson has 17 saves thus far, including 11 in the middle frame. Jets 2, Wild 1. The third is coming your way next. This is Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.
As the official partner of the Minnesota Wild, Enterprise is ready to go that extra mile. We're dedicated to the most dedicated fans in the game. And with us on your team, you can move forward with confidence, knowing we've got your back. We're always available with mobility solutions, whether you need a rental, replacement, truck, or even tailored business strategies. At Enterprise, your goal is our goal, and we're ready with the assist.
Hey Wild fans, Minnesota-based and family-owned Old Dutch Foods has been creating taste sensations for generations of hometown Wild fans for over 90 years. Stock up on your favorite Old Dutch game day snacks at your local grocery stores to make game day a win. Old Dutch is a proud supporter of Wild hockey. Let's go Wild!
Old Dutch potato chips. Old Dutch the snappy chips.
Old Dutch, quality lives here.
Snappy Old Dutch potato chips.
Getting the care you need when you need it should be simple. At Health Partners in Park Nicollet, our clinics, hospitals, and specialties are all connected to give you a streamlined experience. That's because our system-wide health record ensures everyone on your care team is on the same page. And every day we're offering more ways to make it easier to get great care, like virtual visits, hybrid preventive care, online scheduling, mobile check-in, Save My Spot for urgent care, and more. Visit healthpartners.com/wild today.
Wild fans, score up to $2,600 in tax credits when you upgrade your home comfort system by purchasing a qualifying Bryant Evolution heating and cooling system. And with a 10-year replacement warranty from Bryant, you'll have peace of mind for a decade. Contact your local Bryant dealer and ask about tax credits, local rebates, and financing available for qualified buyers. Visit Bryant.com for more details. Bryant, whatever it takes, official heating and cooling company of the Minnesota Wild.
Traveling with the Minnesota Wild has never been easier. Introducing Wild Travel, a book seats experience, the official fan travel platform of your Minnesota Wild. It's your one-stop shop to bundle game tickets with flights and hotels, saving you up to 30%. With Wild Travel, you can customize your official Minnesota Wild package for any game and never worry about hidden fees. Plan your next trip today at bookseats.com. Wild Travel, a book seats experience.
We are gathered here to... what's with the blanket?
Oh, it's my Securian blanket. It's an unsubtle metaphor for the security I feel knowing I have smart insurance and retirement solutions from Securian Financial.
I see. And, sir, do you also trust Securian Financial with your insurance and retirement solutions?
I do.
Prepare for your future. Talk to your employer, affinity group, or a financial professional to get started. Learn more at Securian.com.
Insurance issued by subsidiary companies. Securian Financial Services. Member FINRA.
We're back for the third period in St. Paul. With Tom Reed, I am Joe O'Donnell. The Wild from right to left on your radio dial, the third. Jets from left to right. Winnipeg leading Minnesota 2-1. They've gotten the last two in this hockey game. Tom, what needs to be different for the Wild in the third?
I think effort in the third period. I thought they backed off a little bit in the second period, and they gave the Jets a chance to fulfill their wish to get a couple of goals and take the lead in this hockey. But right now, Minnesota's got to find a way to have that same energy we saw in the first period.
Puck came in on Gustafsson right off the hop. He was able to just nudge it aside, and the Wild get it through the neutral zone. They start with Gaudreau, Trenyon, and Foligno on the ice. The back end, Spurgeon and Brodin. Niederreiter pressures Spurgeon, his former teammate, of course. Now a log jam behind the net of Gustafsson, who looks over his left shoulder. Stab free by Brodin. Brodin swings it up ice. Foligno cuts a backhanded pass to Gaudreau. Charging over the blue line, a wrist shot tipped by Fleury. Out of play.
Yeah, that should keep the face-off, I believe, in the defensive zone of the Winnipeg Jets. Right now, there's a communication going there, and Foligno's right in the middle of the little pop they're having. No damage done. So Hellebuyck has been in net. That left-handed catching glove of his has done a good job. Now, you look at his size also. We talk about goaltenders, and how size is so important. And Hellebuyck is 6'4", so he has that big frame.
Off the face-off, Boldy tried to muscle it towards the front of the net. It's blocked, and the Jets attack here with Kyle Connor. Connor swept it along. Velarde a shot, glanced away by Gustafsson, and then used his goal stick to get away from immediate trouble. The Wild steal Kaprizov, bursting ahead. Kirill Kaprizov attacks middle of the ice into the Jets zone. Feather one to Boldy. Had some trouble with it because of the pressure of Morrissey. Kaprizov rescued it. He tried to center the Jets steal, and Connor trying to slip it past Brock Faber. Faber slowed him down. Scheifele follows it up. Bart Scheifele on his backhand, tossed it towards the slot. That deflects along. Left wing side, Boldy taps ahead with one hand for Eriksson, carving it to Faber, handled it beautifully. He'll hit the blue line, dropping it off Kaprizov, and this play offside.
A little bit nervous energy, I think, right now at the start of this third period. Also, you're behind by a goal and you want to make something happen. You can't look at the scoreboard. You can't look at how many shots there are and so on. You just got to get out there and play like they did in that first period. So the discussion right now is Rossi and Johansson trying to set a little bit of a game plan here, who gets the draw and where I'm going to go.
The Jets are 13-0-0 this season when leading after two periods. The Wild picked up another point, a gutsy effort in Calgary. 0-2-2 the Wild's mark, but at least points in 2 of the 4 games prior to this one when trailing at the second intermission. Colin Miller here walks in, shoots one wide. Hartman wrapped up by the pressure of Heinola. Wild can't clear, a long wrister left down by Gustafsson, and that came off the tape of Ehlers. Gustafsson drops it off, and the Wild use a left wing breakout to Bogosian, and now Marcus Johansson flinging one up and ahead, hoping for Rossi. Rossi pressures. Heinola charged it along, and Ehlers will carry the Jets through center ice. Ehlers goes to the right wing boards for Perfetti, who fanned on his return pass. Chisholm takes him along the end wall, and now Bogosian for Minnesota. Swerves it off. Chisholm drops it back off his own wall. Zach Bogosian takes a look. Both teams have just finished the change. The Wild came in, fewest regulation losses in the NHL. That's right, even better than the Jets, who have dropped 4 games. Boy, Kaprizov just went tumbling down awkwardly on an interchange with Bogosian behind his own net. Hopefully he's okay. As Chisholm now again for Minnesota on his backhand right side, squeezing it along Boldy. Boldy flicks it up ice, but it's stolen. Pionk rumbles in. His pass tipped by Boldy, swatted ahead by Eriksson, just out of the reach of Kaprizov. Jets fire it along. Bogosian intercepts, skies it ahead. Back forward is Fleury, cuts to his left. Getting away from the pressure of Boldy, launched it up. Connor had it clang off his equipment. Shifley had it, fumbled it away. And Spurgeon angles it back through center. Kyle Connor at the offensive blue line sends it in. Just over 3 minutes gone by in the third. Nothing for the Wild offensively yet in period 3. Brodin chunks it along. It tips in. Jones races to it. Comes out on the ice here with Shore and Johansson. Brodin and Spurgeon the defense. Back of the Jets' net. 2 teams digging away for it. Devin Shore had it, lost it, and the Jets now roll it behind their own cage. Kupari found Morrissey. Left wing corner pass DeMello. Bounces it ahead. Morgan Barron slides it in. Brodin back, reverses nicely. Johansson's got it on his forehand. Quick pass to Devin Shore. Shore charging up, working on Hainel. Devin Shore tips in, spins out on the right wing corner. Shore protects. Fed one along. Goudreau tips back at the point. Faber waits for it and smashed it back down low. Johansson left wing corner offensive zone, leaned on. Checked hard there, stayed with it. And as he fought it deeper to the Jet zone, it left the playing surface, caught the netting, and a whistle.
And I think, Joe, what you're looking at right now by Minnesota, they need more puck possession in the offensive zone there. It just seems to be a little bit off right now from what we saw in that first period. But still plenty of time with 16:02 still showing on the clock for this third period. Shots still 39 favor Minnesota to 24 on the other side.
Tom, is it more poised with the puck? Is it the Jets' pressure that's causing some of the issues? What do you think?
I think it's part of each of that. I think there's no question the Jets like to forecheck. They like to go in hard on that forecheck, get the puck in the corner and try and force Minnesota mistakes. But Minnesota hasn't had the puck possession in this the second period or the third period that you're looking for.
Lowry left circle, snapshot off a giveaway, gloved and held on to by Philip Gustafsson.
And there's that Lowry line again, once again, doing the job they have to do in that offensive zone and just forcing turnovers. Minnesota's had a few turnovers in this hockey game, especially between the 2 blue lines. And right now the faceoff is going to be deep in the Wild zone to the right of Philip Gustafsson.
It'll be Hartman on the draw. Hartman nearing 600 NHL games. A lot of great chances back in the opening period. Kaprizov clears up, not quite out. Nemesnikov spikes it down low. Middleton takes it. Pressured immediately. Good stick by the Jets. They'll get free at the point. DeMello a shot. Chest save. Gustafsson, he's on top of the loose puck.
Yeah, once again, Minnesota not able to capture that puck and make something happen, especially in your own area behind that blue line. You've got to get that puck and move it out quickly. The forwards got to pull out a little bit and try to force the opposition to back off also to give Minnesota a little more room in that neutralized area.
Rossi has 3 to his right, Faber to his left as he wins the face-off back. Middleton jabs it off the left wing glass. Kaprizov scoops it rink wide. So here we see Hartman, Rossi, and Kaprizov. As puck here deflects in the Jet zone, but they'll say it hit maybe the curved glass or a Jets player before it came back onto the ice, so a whistle, and it looks like a neutralized draw coming up.
Well, on Friday, the Wild are hosting their annual coat drive presented by Aurora Heated Apparel. Contributions go to the American Indian Family Center. Purchase tickets for the game at wild.com/hockey tickets. It's kind of weather to have those heated vests, aren't they? Keep it nice and warm outside.
Yeah, it's starting to get to be that time of year. Faber headmans, Rossi tips in. No Jakub Lauko right now for the Wild. Fourth line was jumbled around there last time out, and we see because Johansson got that shift with Jones and Shore. Now it is Kaprizov getting some extra ice time as well. The Wild down a man on the bench. That seems to be a theme lately, unfortunately, for Minnesota. Rossi cuts his way ahead. Couldn't get past the Jets' pressure, and it's turned over. Scheifele gains the line, dropped it off Morrissey to his backhand, to his forehand. They'll just swerve it down low as Minnesota did well defensively to sort things out. Up ice pass for Brodin, hoping for Kaprizov, a touch too far. And it's icing on Minnesota.
Yeah, the passing just a little bit off the target right now. Brodin made a nice play with that, but just a little bit too far, as you called it, Joe. And as a result of that, the faceoff comes back in the Minnesota zone. You just need some more jump by Minnesota here right now. There's plenty of time remaining in the game. 14:27 showing on the board right now, remaining here in the third period, and 1 goal game. The difference going to the Winnipeg Jets.
On the face-off, Hartman and Lowry. It's worked to the blue line by Winnipeg. Pionk shifts it down low. Spurgeon and Niederreiter battle. Niederreiter, the difference maker right now, is second period marker at the 12:05 portion of the frame. Niederreiter off a missed shot. Feeds up top. Fleury to Pionk. Pionk with a bid. Knocked down in front by Hartman. Hand in the way of Kaprizov and darts ahead. Kaprizov weaving through center. Hits the red line. Spins back with a wild change. Kaprizov floats a pass along Spurgeon. Bunts it loose for Erikssonek. Able to float it in. And on the forecheck, Kaprizov. Fleury curled away. Hayden Fleury with a left wing pass. It's ripped along by Niederreiter to Pionk, who carries ahead. Gains the red line. Shovels it in. Twisted by Brodin, back of his cage for Chisholm. Banned on his return pass, and then a second effort able to muscle it free for Jonas Brodin. Recently hit the plus 100 mark, plus minus department in his career. Follow now on a breakout for the Jets. Quick exit by Winnipeg. Papari slowed down by Chisholm. Bogosian now bats it off his left wing glass, and the Wild chuck it through center.
Yeah, most of this third period they played in Minnesota's defensive zone.
Kind of has the feel like the Wild threw a haymaker early. The Jets absorbed it, and now Minnesota needs to get back to its game. Morgan Barron stripped deep in the Wild zone. Boldy floats along. Johansson able to get to it. Giving some room at center here. Marcus Johansson angles left wing side deep in the Jet zone. Fire one in front. It leaks to the cross corner. Kupari off the glass and safely ahead. Where it's picked up by Morgan Barron. He's able to shuttle it in. Both teams change on the fly. A little more than 7 minutes gone by in the third. Still no shots for Minnesota in period 3 after 22 in the first. And 17 more in the second. As the puck here deflects into the stands behind the Wild bench, we've got a timeout on the ice. 2-1 deficit for Minnesota here at home. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
The push for the fantasy football playoffs is on Fantasy Sports Radio. Unbelievable! Don't make the wrong roster move. Don't start the wrong player. Don't make the mistake that will cost you a win.
Don't get cute once you get to the fantasy playoffs. Start your best player.
Whether you're jockeying for playoff positioning or need a win to secure your spot, get expert advice on Fantasy Sports Radio, Sirius XM 87, and on the Sirius XM app.
The biggest plays.
What a save!
Hits.
Oh, hard hit.
Goals.
McDavid scores!
Tune to NHL Network Radio for the most in-depth hockey talk on the planet.
He is the GM of the Minnesota Wild.
Insiders.
The revenues and the big business.
And the best analysis on the air.
The
NHL on Sirius XM. Hear every team and your hometown call. NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on demand with the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Ward Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, scores!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Bray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favorite Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
Now face-off will be right at center ice. 12:36 to go here in period number 3. Shots are 39-26 in favor of Minnesota, but the Jets lead by a score of 2-1.
Both these teams have gotten a lot of offense from their blue line in the early going. The Jets second most points amongst NHL defensemen with 57. Colorado leads that pack. The Wild, though, have been getting a lot of points lately from the back end, tied for ninth coming in and scoring by defensemen. Middleton's goal, the 12th point by the Wild in the last 7 games from their blue line. We'll see if the offense from the defense factors in down the stretch with the Wild. Down a goal, 12 and a half minutes left. DeMello deep out of his own zone, smacks it along. Appleton filters it in from center. Faber back. Bumping into him, Niederreiter. Faber now chiseling it free. Foligno to Gaudreau. Pokes ahead now through center ice. DeMello back. Couldn't get it past Freddie Gaudreau. Gaudreau fired one that knuckled just over the crossbar. Kind of pitchforked it there. Trending to the right point. Faber laces it back of the net. Foligno stops. Tries to shake past some pressure. Now Gaudreau out of the right wing corner. Wheeled up along the board. Cycled it back down low. Foligno. Met there by Lowry. A pair of 17s battling. Comes the way of Niederreiter, and he'll just get it out to center. Niederreiter pushes it back. Morrissey labels it to DeMello. Both teams change it. DeMello from the red line golfs it in. Spurgeon hustles to it. Pressure by Nemesnikov, so he wheeled it along. Brodin kept it coming. Kaprizov flicking it free. Eriksson Ek, the weak side D. Spurgeon went right back to him. Eriksson Ek in the high slot of Rister. Kick save by Hellebuck. Ehlers to lose change. Pounded it around the boards. Kaprizov and Perfetti come together. Perfetti stapled to the glass by Kaprizov. 2 Wild players join the scrum. 2 Jets players now in there, as well as the initial Kaprizov and Perfetti battle. So 3 from each side trying to dig it loose. It came free and just got away from Boldy and rolls back through center.
That's a lot of muscle in those 3-on-3 in the corner there.
Brodin to Boldy. Tapped off looking for Spurgeon. It bounced over his tape. Kaprizov able to whack it in. Rossi hustles to it against Hayden Fleury. It's chiseled free. Scheifele just rims it around the boards. At center ice, Middleton takes over. And now Boldy. So we near the midway point of the third. Boldy to Kaprizov into the slot. A shot just glanced wide. Kaprizov to his own rebound. Twisted it in front for a shot by Boldy. And Hellebuck made that save. Boy, eyes in the back of his head again, Tom Reed.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
Boldy swerves it along. Faber taps off. Good pressure here by the Wild. Rossi angles it along. Hustling to it, Boldy. Initiated contact. Found Faber. He's got to step out in front with a shot. He rang it off the goalpost. Maybe hit Hellebuck as well. Wild keeping again. Kaprizov with the pass blocked. He'll stay with it. Stashing it free to Rossi. Rossi with the crowd buzzing now to Boldy. At the left point, Faber walks in. Fanned on a shot. Tapped it off then to Rossi, who curls left circle. Rossi spinning away from Kyle Connor. Launched one to the back post. And the Jets deflect that feed out of play.
Yeah, good possession by Minnesota. Good shift by Minnesota also in that offensive zone. But got to get the shots in the net.
And maybe, unfortunately, for the Wild, a TV timeout to break up some of their mojo. 9:59 to go in the third. The Wild down a goal here to the Jets at home. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
At CHS, we know what it takes to feed and fuel the world, to integrate a global ag and energy supply chain, to advocate for farmers in their fields and around the world, to build communities, invest in rural America, and empower rural economies. It takes courage, conviction, commitment. It takes the nation's leading farmer-owned cooperative. It takes a co-op. It takes CHS.
We are gathered here to... what's with the blanket?
Oh, it's my Securian blanket. It's an unsubtle metaphor for the security I feel knowing I have smart insurance and retirement solutions from Securian Financial.
I see. And, sir, do you also trust Securian Financial with your insurance and retirement solutions?
I do.
Prepare for your future. Talk to your employer, affinity group, or a financial professional to get started. Learn more at Securian.com.
Insurance issued by subsidiary companies. Securian Financial Services. Member.
Scoreboard update. Already 7 finals tonight in the National Hockey League, including in Tampa, where the Lightning dismantled the Avalanche 8-2. Brandon Hagel, 5 assists on the evening. Capitals take out the Panthers 4-1 in Sunrise. The Devils beat up on the Predators 5-2 in New Jersey. The Blues get game number 1 under their belt under the Jim Montgomery era. They start with a 5-2 win in New York over the Rangers. Golden Knights use the shootout to beat the Flyers 5-4. Hurricanes take out the Stars 6-4 in Raleigh. That's all the time for now. Back to Joe and Tom.
And we've got 9:59 to go here in this third period. Minnesota's still trailing by 1 face-off deep in the zone, but Minnesota's picked up a little more pace in this latter part of the third period, but that's what they have to keep on right now.
Top two teams in the NHL in points percentage coming in. The Wild, one of two teams. They and Carolina without back-to-back regulation losses. Jets have lost back-to-back in regulation just once this year. Middleton, a long shot off the draw. Blocker save, Hellebuck. Morrissey got the rebound around, and Niederreiter just gets it out the center. Seen a lot of that from the Jets. When the Wild have had the puck in the offensive zone, has been a lot the third time, but the Jets just making the safe play, making Minnesota reset.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. They don't care about getting another goal at this stage of the game. They've got the lead that they need. They just want Minnesota to get those opportunities.
Jets have scored 4 or more 13 times this season, so they can fill it up offensively. To Tom's point, don't necessarily need it right now on a nail-biter. 41 shots for the Wild, 26 for Winnipeg. Boldy on the steal. And the referee is hurt. You can hear Boldy on our ice mics ask him if he was okay.
Did he take this? Was it a skate that came up, or was it a stick that caught him?
I'm not sure, but the play was halted, and I don't know if the referee blew the play because he was injured. That doesn't happen much. So, again, I'm not really sure why the whistle was blown. We'll get another look here on the TV monitor.
No, Chris Rooney.
Oh, was the right skate of Josh Morrissey as he was falling down as Boldy wrestled him down that came across and looked like maybe it got Chris Rooney in the high part of his calf, but he appears okay.
Yeah, a lot of the officials also wear the material that can't cut through anymore just to give them some added protection.
I'm assuming they just called it offside on the Wild during that puck battle, but not exactly sure as the Jets spring one ahead. Gustafsson to Hartman. Ryan Hartman hit a body on his side as he tried to clear ahead. Eventually Johansson carries the Wild up ice and swings it around the net, but Pionk's there waiting for it, and he'll just lob it up ice. Jets over the blue line. Ehlers between the legs pass to Mestikov on the curl up left wing side as he was met by Spurgeon. Brodin then knocked a pass off his end glass. He'll find Johansson. Rifles it rink wide. Hartman flips into open ice. Spurgeon will pressures. The Wild change behind the play. Spurgeon rams into Pionk. Hartman goes crashing into the corner as well. Wild trying to up the physical play on the forecheck here. 8.5 minutes left. Down a goal at home to the Jets, who already won the earlier meeting of the season series in overtime in Winnipeg back on October the 13th. Hartman on a reset tries to carry over the blue line, but this play is offside with 8:21 to go.
Yeah, you see a Minnesota defenseman jumping on the play once again. That was Spurgeon, the captain, of course, going in there. And all he's trying to do is separate the puck from the sticks of the Winnipeg Jets there and allow one of his teammates to come there and pick it up. But the Jets very quickly was able to secure that puck, get it out of the zone once again, and get it down ice. And now the face-off is going to be deep in the Minnesota zone as Philip Gustafsson gets set on his left side.
Dro and Velarde on the face-off. Tie up initially. A quick shot by Scheifele, handled by Gustafsson. He'll pull it underneath them. With 8:15 left, Jets are 6-1-0 against the Central Division. Their lone loss was Saturday against Nashville. The Wild 2-1-2. Both wins coming in St. Louis. But Tom, you go back to last season. The Wild are 0-11-2 against Winnipeg, Dallas, and Colorado.
Yeah, that was the killer last year, no question about it. And I don't think the coaching staff don't remember what happened last year. And they may say it to the players, but they're more concerned about how the players are going to come out from the
Connor in the slot with a chance. Good save, Gustafsson. Sorry, Tom. Cut you off there, but Connor had a good-looking scoring chance.
Yes, he did.
And right off the face-off. Against the rest of the Central Division since the start of last season, the Wild 11-4-3. But you got to beat the top dogs if you want to be the top dog. Puck comes in on Gustafsson. He'll push it to the right wing boards. Faber skies it ahead. Trenyon races up ice. Colin Miller there for the Jets defense. They'll reverse off his end wall. Heinola grabs it. Billy Heinola in his season debut, his first NHL game since late January.
Coming against Minnesota.
Crowd not happy with it. Neither is Foligno. Slams the puck off the boards in frustration.
Yeah, he's going to be the one getting the penalty, I believe, also. He is not pleased.
17 Minnesota, minor penalty holding.
The holding is a call, and it comes at 12 minutes and 29 seconds. Once again, Winnipeg has scored 3 shorthanded goals this year. Connor has 1, and Barron has got the other 2. And the faceoff is deep in the Minnesota zone.
Tom, I wouldn't look at the replay if I were you. Might get upset.
Well, that's why Foligno was upset, I'm sure.
And Hainala looked like he may have embellished a bit. Right off the draw, Perfetti, a shot glove save. Gustafson will drop it off for Brodin to smash off the boards left side and all the way down. 12:29, so Foligno in the box for holding at 12:29 in the third. Big time penalty kill for Minnesota if they want to stay within striking distance. Nemestikov wheels it along Iafallo, tied up by Eriksson Ek, and he's stripped to the puck. Eriksson Ek gets it through center. Trenyon goes off for a change, so does Eriksson Ek. Racing onto the ice, Gaudreau and Boldy. Again, no Jakub Lauko in this third period so far for Minnesota, and he's a big part of the penalty kill. At the point is Pionk, a right circle wrister, blocker save Gustafson. Rebound grab by Perfetti. It'll spin along the boards left side. Boldy takes away the pass up top. Now it does work to Pionk, back to Perfetti, left side, dangling in, back to Pionk, a hurried shot, and they score. Hit something in front. And the Jets have scored on the power play to pull in front 3-1.
Yeah, we said before about the power play, how important it is to the Winnipeg Jets, and they've proven it once again, and that did not take very long, just 50 seconds with a man advantage. But that shot, you're right, Joe, it hits something as it goes in, but Iafallo's going to get credit for that goal. That gives him 2 goals on the evening, and his team now has a 2-goal lead. Makes it a little more difficult for Minnesota. It comes at 13 minutes and 20 seconds.
For Iafallo, now 100 career NHL goals for the former Duluth Bulldog. Spent 4 seasons at UMD. Got double-digit goals in 6 straight years coming in. And so the Pionk point shot hits Iafallo, clangs in. Wild still just 2 shots in the third. Jets have tightened up, to say the least. But on Saturday, Minnesota was down a pair late in the game. In Calgary, a stingy team defensively. They rallied to earn a point. See if they can do that again here with just over 6 minutes left. Time becoming an issue. Faber in his own slot. Headmans. Marcus Johansson carries ahead in a 3-on-3. They'll protect and feed Hartman. Fakes a shot. Tries to step around Morris. He threw one in front at the flex wide. Middleton left wing boards. Cranked one to the front of the net. That was blocked by Morgan Barron. Hustling to it, Ross. Pitched it in the corner, Johansson. Spun, was checked into the boards, and the Jets trying to clear out can't. Rossi sweeps it behind the net. Morrissey's got a bit of time and space. His pass just got past Hartman and out the center. Quick up by the Wild. Hartman right back over the blue line. Rossi going to the front of the net. Hartman with a wrister. That's in the glove of Connor Hellebuck. And a timeout on the ice, 5:39 left. Wild trail the Jets 3-1. Winnipeg's got 3 unanswered in this hockey game. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Beautiful mountains, wide open spaces, bustling cities and towns. There's a lot to love in our home states. And at XL Energy, we take pride in helping our local communities thrive. Beyond providing reliable energy, we help support the local economy and fund education with grants. Because your home is our home. And together, we can make it a better place to live, work, learn, and play. See how at excellenergy.com/community.
Texas Spirit started with Tito's handmade vodka. Back in the 90s, we had a dream as big as our home state. With grit, determination, and heart, we broke ground on the first legal distillery in Texas. Today, at the center of the craft spirits movement, we're still Texas-made and Texan-owned. Our copper caps line the shelves, and we fill glasses with the smoothest juice around. Remember, just because it looks like vodka doesn't mean it tastes like Tito's. 40% alcohol by volume, mainly 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Wild forwards Matt Zuccarello and Kirill Kaprizov have a special chemistry. It's as if they communicate via telepathy, always knowing precisely where the other one will be on the ice. Now you try. What am I thinking?
Here's Kaprizov centering a shot.
Well done. You're getting the hang of it. Not weird. Why?
Whether it's with your teammates, colleagues, or family, the Wild has several group experiences to choose from. Book your group tickets today at wild.com/group outing.
Well, can they do it again, can they come back from the 2-goal deficit? We'll find out. 5:39 to go here. They did it in Calgary. We're going to try to do it here at home against the visitors, the Winnipeg Jets. Face off deep in the Jet zone.
Off the face-off. It came to the point. It was tip-free. Look out, Scheifele's got some room in front of him. Faber closing Scheifele into the back post. And Faber got a piece of it incidentally. Gustafsson fought it off to the Wild. Quickly countered. Boldy charges in. Right circle pivots. Threw one in front and it whistled just wide. Middleton left point off a Faber pass. Along to Kaprizov, a hurried shot glanced away by the goal stick of Hellebuck. Slashed at by Scheifele. Faber held in. Second try. Scheifele to Velarde. Gave it away to Middleton. Another effort by the Jets. They just get it out the center. Kaprizov on a reset. Wild trying to change on the fly. Kaprizov wheels past Kyle Connor. Bolts into the Jet zone. Protecting the puck. Shoveled it free. Boldy. Trying to go back to Kaprizov. Just a little out of stride. Brodin keeps in. Off the Boldy right wing hash mark. Smack down low Kaprizov. One-handed it in front. Eriksson couldn't get much on his shot. And the Jets whistle it ahead.
Yeah, good shift. Probably the best shift of the third period by Minnesota.
Wild making their push down by 2. We'll see when Gustafsson heads to the bench for the extra attacker. Remember in Calgary Saturday, Faber on the power play with a few minutes left. Got the Wild back within 1. Then the extra attacker goal by Rossi. Out with his goal stick, Hellebuck. Couldn't get it past Rossi, who pressured. Johansson now gloves it down to his tape, rolled it up top. Brodin, a shot. It's loose, side of the cage. After it clanged off Hellebuck, and the Jets able to find it. Adam Lowry wheels around his own net. Navigates ahead. Lowry hands it off. Niederreiter, a shot blocked by Brodin. Niederreiter to his own rebound. Over to Lowry. Spiked it in front. That pinball's free. Johansson. Rink wide. Hartman at the red line. Shoves it in. The Wild and Jets change on the fly. Less than 4 minutes left. Out of his own zone, Colin Miller. Miller launches it ahead. Barron flicks it in. Kupari. Watched by Middleton. He played it around the boards. Trenyon tipped it loose. Shore swatting at it. The Jets flick it ahead. Gustafsson's going to come way out to his right circle to paddle it free. And Minnesota now able to dig it loose. Trenyon lays it back to Faber, who slaps a pass along to Middleton. Dished quickly ahead onto the tape of Gaudreau. Gaudreau cut past the check. Freddie Gaudreau over the blue line. Angle to the left wing board. Spins up. And then just curled it into the corner for Devin Shore to go to work. Shore on his backhand to the left point. Middleton. A long shot blocked by Iafallo. Boy, what a game he's had. And the Jets get it out the center. And they'll charge ahead Kupari to Barron. Morgan Barron throwing one in front. Middleton defended Kupari well. 3 minutes left. Gustafsson, I'd imagine, be heading up ice here shortly. As the Jets pound it in again. Both teams again. Change on the fly. Out of Bowmanville, Ontario, here's the Wild's Declan Chisholm. Up ice, Eriksson tipped it free. Boldy tried to center. Pionk hounding him. Boldy swats it back at the point. There goes Gustafsson to the bench. Spurgeon finds Kaprizov. A right circle shot glanced away by Hellebuck. Pionk now behind the net. Tied up by Boldy, who centers. It ricochets around. The Jets force the issue out to center ice. 2:30 on the clock. Tom, what's the approach?
The approach right now is you got to get the puck in the offensive zone to begin with, and then start moving it around. They've got the extra man out there.
6 on 5 for the Wild.
Yeah, Jets are going to just drop back. They're going to try and create a wall on that blue line.
Wild have scored 3 extra attacker goals this season, 2 of them with delayed penalty calls, and the other night Calgary with just the goaltender pulled. Offside here, Minnesota, 2:15 on the clock.
Now, this is where you really got to bear down. Minnesota realizes it also. They have a 2-goal deficit right now and only 2 minutes and 15 seconds showing on the big board. Gus is back in the net for Minnesota, waiting to see who's going to win this face-off, and he's ready to take off to the bench once again if Minnesota can capture it.
Eriksson on the draw against Lowry. Lowry muscled it back. Morrissey, left side, shoveled it ahead. Niederreiter didn't get much on it. Faber at his own blue line, a rink-wide feed. Brodin at the red line, left side, snaps it in. There goes Gustafsson again. Morrissey back to settle it down. Muscled it free to Mello, spiked it off the glass, and it gets out through center ice on a second effort there by Appleton. They say no icing. They said that puck was deflected, and I'm not quite sure by who. Faber to Boldy, left wing board, spins off some pressure, just over 100 seconds left. Here is Kaprizov. fighting his way ahead by the Wild bench. Has to curl back as Niederreiter's right in his face. Kaprizov launched one, then hit a glove, and then rocketed into the stands.
I think it hurt the hand also when it hit that glove. And the faceoff is going to take place right at center ice, and time is dwindling down right now for Minnesota as Gus comes back to get in that blue paint area. Timeout's going to be called, I believe. Minnesota, I would think, would take the timeout.
I was looking this afternoon, Tom, as the Wild used their timeout. You know, the Wild have beaten the defending Stanley Cup champs. They've beaten the defending Western Conference champs. They've beaten Tampa Bay, a perennial playoff team. They've beaten the the Maple Leafs. They've beaten the Blues, a rival. But going into today, just 3 teams the Wild have beaten this year are in the playoffs. So you can go off track record, you can go off whatever, but you got to start to beat some of the teams that are looking like they're going to be playoff teams this year to ultimately get where you want to go, right?
Yeah, you're right, John. One thing I said earlier in the broadcast a few games ago was the fact that Minnesota's beaten some teams, but a lot of those teams have not been in the playoffs last year. Of course, Minnesota wasn't in the playoffs either, so they've elevated their game from that point on. But if you want to play with the big boys, you got to beat the big boys.
Face off at center ice. Gustafson's back between the pipes for now, 93 seconds to go. Feels like Kaprizov's been on the ice the last 5 minutes, but we know about the engine he's got. As here the Jets smack it along, Faber at his own blue line, rips it up ice. Kaprizov backhand, forehand, charging in. There goes Gustafson for the 3rd time to the bench. Kaprizov shot, knocked away. It is Rossi. Back into the right wing corner for Boldy. Matt Boldy. Rink wide to the left wing boards. Kaprizov took a shot. Deflected wide. Polino hunting it down. Morrissey's there. Morrissey's pass rattled off the Scheifele. Got past Boldy. Kyle Connor springs it ahead. Adam Lowry to the empty net. He scores. That should do it. The Jets, 4 unanswered. And they're going to skate to a win here in St. Paul. It's 4-1 Winnipeg with 63 seconds to go.
Yeah, they had a very solid game here tonight. They gave up that first goal to Minnesota, but as you pointed out, Joe, they had the next 4 goals. This will come into an empty net, and it comes at 18 minutes and 57 seconds of the 3rd period. Minnesota, obviously, and the fans here are disappointed in what has happened here tonight. But it was a battle of the 2 top teams in the National Hockey League. Somebody had to win. Unfortunately, it was going to be the visitors that win this one here in Minnesota.
The Wild are about to drop to 4-3-1 at home. So for all the road success, for whatever reason at XL Energy Center, they haven't had as much. They have back-to-back wins in this building just one time against Tampa and Toronto. Ben Jones, the Yakov Trenyan, but that's cut off. Gustafson's back in the Wild goal crease. Jones now left side, fires one in front. Bogosian to pinch in and stash it down low. 44 seconds to go. Trenyan bumped by Colin Miller. Up next for Minnesota, they will head to Buffalo, play the Sabres on Wednesday. Sabres have been off since over the weekend when they picked up a win. They are currently a playoff team in the Atlantic Division. The Jets continue a 6-game road trip. They're in L.A. next, as I mentioned earlier. I follow centers for Kupari. He didn't get much on his shot. 20 ticks to go. Chisholm outlets. Jones cuts with Trenyan. A little crisscross there. They try to play catch. Jets swatted away. Iafallo through center. Broken up by Bogosian. And back on it, Kupari. He'll peel it back in his own zone. The Jets content to pull back in their own end and let the final seconds tick down. So the Jets, after a loss the other night in Nashville, rebound quickly as they pick up a 4-1 win here in Minnesota. As the Wild, now back-to-back games without a win. They did pick up a point in the standings Saturday in Calgary, but a regulation loss here for the Wild by 3 goals at home to their Central Division rival.
Yeah, interesting also, Joe. You look at that 3rd period, and the Jets came out. They had 12 shots in that period compared to 5 in the Minnesota time. The Minnesota side, I should say, and they were obviously looking to get more offense going here. It did not happen in that 3rd period, and the Jets just shut them down.
It was the Connor Hellebuck story early and often as he stops 43 of 44 to win his 3rd.